I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. Tiger Woods suffered multiple leg injuries in a single-car rollover crash today near Los Angeles and is currently undergoing surgery, according to his agent, Mark Steinberg. Emergency personnel removed Woods from the vehicle using the jaws of life. He is in the hospital, as I mentioned. His condition unknown at this time. His vehicle sustained major damage. Today is the first day NFL teams can put the franchise or transition tag on their respective free agents. Different challenges this year for players and teams. The tags will pay less because of the lowered salary cap. Much of the talk, of course, about the Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott. And no matter what happens in the end, Dak will come out on top, believes ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He is going to get a long-term deal, whether it is in Dallas or somewhere else. And I think he'd be very happy to do that in Dallas. This is not a fractured relationship aside from the contract itself. So in that regard, Dak Prescott has done everything right as a man and as a player to set himself up for the next chapter in his career, wherever that is.
Jeff on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti.
We're back on Wednesday, and the Rams have gone all in to win the Super Bowl title. But we'll tell you how long the Rams have in this current championship window on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Tuesday. I think we're on right now. Sorry, my days are all kind of blending and gelling together, but I think we're on a Tuesday right now. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Austin Lane. Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690. Joined by my man Kuz, pushing the right buttons. Co-host Brent Martineau will be here in a second. And, you know, I'm really going to wait to get in to really the breaking story of the day right now until Brent gets here. But Tiger Woods, you know, a guy who I think we were kind of on the fence about, is he going to play in the Players Championship here in a couple weeks here in Ponte Vedra, obviously in Jacksonville. It's an event that we cover, and, we enjoy doing that. Is Tiger Woods going to be playing at the Players? And obviously now with this latest developments of him being in a pretty bad car accident here, or I guess it's an SUV. I can't really tell, man, because the picture is – I'm seeing a picture right now by Albert Breer and Adam Schefter, and it looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah, they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of the car.
Yeah, no, it was a single car accident outside of L.A. Tiger Woods he's okay, but he sustained multiple leg injuries, and I guess he's on his way to getting surgery right now. So most importantly, it seems like he's going to be okay. No, it's a severe wreck, and as more news breaks about it, we'll be sure to let you guys know. But it seems like he's okay. He's going to surgery, but you have to question the leg injury, because anytime that you wreck your leg like that and that you need surgery like ASAP, that is not a good sign. So obviously the Players is out of the question, but more importantly, what does this mean for Tiger's career, right? Because this guy's been up and down. He's gone through his trials and tribulations. He's come back. He's won the green jacket. And you would hate to see the book on Tiger end with something like this. So, Brent, what do you think about everything that's transpiring right now? Well,
I think the good news is, although I see the statement, it doesn't say non-life-threatening injuries, but it looks like the references to leg injuries. So I think that's a plus, of course. If you're referring to multiple leg injuries, then obviously he's no danger of.
But I was like I was saying though, I mean, when you have surgery right away, though, that's not a good sign.
No, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know what all that means, other than, I think there are going to be reports and whatever multiple leg injuries means. Does that mean broken legs? Does that mean what? You can rule out golf for a bit. That's obviously a side story, but of course, when it comes to Tiger Woods, it's also a curiosity. There was already one because he had just back surgery. You also wonder what this does to his back. Mm-hmm. What else is hurting in there? There's a lot of speculation coming off his appearance at the golf tournament this past weekend, and it wasn't that he played, but he was there to obviously host the event, give out the trophy, talk to Jim Nantz on the broadcast on CBS. And I didn't really pay too close attention to everybody talking about it at the time, but now it's coming back up. I kind of referenced on TV when I heard Tiger talking about, like, even the Masters being in jeopardy potentially. We did that on Action Sports JAX Primetime, and I referenced that it almost sounded like he had his allergy stuff going because he's a big allergy guy,
Sure.
And he's got that, and his face looked kind of puffy. And then I saw a little bit of this, not a lot, but maybe it was all over the place. People speculating, like, Tiger doesn't look that good. And then now, what are we, Tuesday, out in California time, Tuesday morning when this occurs, because it was about 7-something on Tuesday this morning.
Yeah.
Now people are going back to that video. Tiger didn't look good. Obviously, the history. So there's going to be a lot out there in terms of speculation and what this is. But all we really know right now is that was a pretty nasty-looking crash. You saw the pictures.
Of course, yeah. Kuza's saying they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of there.
Yeah,
so.
and, I mean, basically his car, if you haven't seen the pictures, his vehicle is on the side of a hill, and, looks like some 25, 30, 40 feet away from the road. So obviously quite a tumble. It was a single-car wreck, and the latest from his agent, Mark Steinberg, is this quote: Tiger Woods was in a single-car accident this morning in California, suffered multiple leg injuries. He's currently in surgery. We thank you for your privacy and support. And I would expect that's all we're going to get out of the Tiger Woods situation now.
Sure.
For the next however many hours, day, whatever else that means. But pretty shocking news coming in here just a little bit ago to see that story. And I just hesitate to say, okay, why, what? I mean, it could just be a wreck, it could just be a bad car accident. But I think a lot of people now will speculate, what does it mean? What was going on? Why a crash of that magnitude? It could be simply lost control of the car. It could be simply texting and driving. Could be a myriad of things. We're not going to know those things for quite some time, but we do know this: Tiger Woods with multiple leg injuries in surgery most likely means no golf for quite some time. And now we just hope it's not anything more serious in terms of the leg injuries, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
listen, that it would be a horrible, like I just said, it would be a horrible way to close the book on Tiger Woods from this accident, and that's it. And listen, it's golf, right? So, it's not the most physical, demanding sport out there, but at the same time, this is a guy who's dealt with a myriad of injuries and everything, and now this is going to obviously add to it in the rehab time and things like that. You just got to stay tuned and see what happens with Tiger here. But I get what you're saying as well. There's going to be the people out there, they're going to speculate this thing because there is a history to this, right? Whether it was the pain pills of getting arrested, and there's going to be rumors, there's going to be hearsay out there. But obviously, I'm just going to reserve my thoughts and reserve my judgments until the whole story comes out. Which, let's be honest, in a world like today, usually the true story, at least fractures of the true story, do come out.
Yeah, it's interesting now. You look at there's a lot of video coming out now, some pictures of where the car is and where the investigation is. Obviously, Tiger Woods is already, taken to the hospital in surgery, according to his agent. But now you're seeing helicopters and flights out of California starting to look at the scene. And the car traveled quite a long way is really the story right now. And it's not necessarily a hill, by the way. It's right off the road and then a grassy area. So it looked like a hill from some of the pictures I saw, but that's not necessarily the case, at least from this latest video that I'm seeing. And I have no idea about California roads, wherever this is as well. But there are 4 lanes separated by a median. And I think, at least from the you tell me, but if you think that, it looks like he was probably going one way, had to go across 2 lanes on the opposite side of the road to end up where he ended up.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about someone who totally lost control of the vehicle,
sure,
most likely. And obviously now Tiger Woods in the hospital in surgery, multiple leg injuries is all we know, and dominating story now all across the globe, really, with the global icon of Tiger Woods. where this next couple of weeks was really more, is he going to play in the Players' Championship? Is he going to get ready for Augusta and the Masters? Where is he at? Where's his game at coming off back surgery? And that was a whole different kind of questions. And that is, first of all, how's he doing? What kind of injuries does he have in addition to these leg injuries, if any? Will he play golf again? Does he have more issues now to contend with, more personal demons to contend with? Are these reoccurring issues? These are all questions that will be asked and like I said, not really answered for quite some time.
And I'll say this, too, and I don't know the details of the accident and things like that, but I think he's, according to the pictures and just what we've kind of been speculating, he is lucky to be alive.
Well, that's a good point.
And one would assume that he's probably wearing a seatbelt, hopefully, because I don't know how somebody survives that accident with that much damage without wearing their seatbelt. So, I mean, that is the positive of a really bad situation.
That's a good point. That's a very good point, really. And I that could have been, I don't know what worse is because we don't know exactly what's wrong with him or what he's dealing with or what kind of surgeries he's having. But you're right. Just living through this right now at this stage, it actually will bring back, and for golf historians, Tiger always gets put in the relative to history books, right? He's iconic across all sports. He obviously in golf is, one might argue, the greatest of all time, although Jack still holds that record, and so you can make the case for Jack Nicklaus as the greatest of all time. He has records that will never be broken, Tiger Woods. He's had stretches of golf that are just the best golf that's ever been played. I just watched a lot of it on Sunday. In fact, the Golf Channel had it on after some of its golf coverage, and I just kept it on, and they were playing every win of Tiger's career, and they were playing the Tiger Slam and going all the way back to the early 2000s. So I was just watching all this. But when you think of car accidents, and especially golf and legends in golf, you think of Ben Hogan. And Ben Hogan, real big golf fans will know that suffered catastrophic injuries. And, well, I don't guess catastrophic isn't the word because he ended up coming back and playing golf. But the story is it was a massive car accident and one that people were surprised that he even bounced back from, and he did. So that kind of came to my mind today, too. I mean, Ben Hogan way back in the day, car accident, golf, all those things. And it's too early to talk about, well, will Tiger even come back from this and play golf again and all that stuff? But that's what then will follow is some more comparisons to a guy like Ben Hogan just in the car accident incident. But for now, this is so fresh and new. We're just not going to know much. Again, the latest is Tiger Woods looks to be a pretty bad car accident out in California. A single car crash. His agent says multiple leg injuries, in surgery now, and that's it. I was a little surprised to not hear non-life-threatening injuries or anything like that. So we don't know anything but multiple leg injuries, in surgery. That's going to dominate your Twitter feed, your Facebook feed, your newscasts all over the globe today, not just here in Jacksonville, but it's no doubt the biggest story. The biggest story, though, with not a lot of information. That's all we have.
No, for sure. And listen, and once again, I understand that it's non-life-threatening right now, but I'm reminded of
we think it is.
Yeah, well, that's what that's what's being reported. But I'm reminded of Zach Miller and Alex Smith, but more specifically Zach Miller, who at the time when he had his gruesome injury in New Orleans, taking place after, a catch in the end zone, he comes down. I think it was a compound fracture, they said. But, Zach never got to play football again after that. First it was just a battle just to get his leg back to even working again because he almost lost it with an infection. But then the fact that, he wasn't able to play football. And once again, I'll repeat myself. I understand that golf is not as physical and, physically demanding as, football is. But, listen, it still requires athleticism. It still requires strength, power, all that stuff. So hopefully, there's no complications with this surgery coming up. But once again, we'll probably more information later on in the show.
Yeah, so we'll keep you posted on the latest on that. It is obviously a huge story. These stories are just like, oh, wow. It's hard to even wrap your arms around it for a moment, right? I mean, we just did this a year ago in a totally, obviously in a more devastating way, at least at the moment, and that was Kobe Bryant and that helicopter. I mean, you're like, whoa. And when you see the guys, you just see the stars in general, right? Yeah. Music stars, actors, big names. It's just like, whoa. Because the reason why you do this in these kind of situations, I think it's kind of like a subconscious, is that they just don't seem real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most times they don't seem real. Tiger has shown he is real. He's shown he's human, both with his failures and his successes, actually, and kind of his personality that's evolved recently. But this really humanizes a person, a guy that has been called at times robotic, right? Now, and that scene looks like a really bad car accident out there in California. So it does grab you.
Sure,
I mean, it kind of is like, whoa. What's going on here? And I think because we've seen tragedy, your mind goes to the worst. Like you see that if somebody's just clicking on Twitter and they see that picture, or you click on the news, you see that picture, you're like, whoa. Before you even know exactly what happened. That's why I do credit Steinberg for coming out and saying pretty quickly, at least giving a statement that happened relatively quickly, at least in the news cycle way of things. Because you'd have all sorts of speculation right now over the last half hour since this news broke, and you're already going to get a lot of speculation as well. We'll keep you posted on the latest on Tiger Woods. Obviously a dominating story, but that is all we know right now. Multiple leg injuries, in surgery, and we'll see if the camp gives any updates. I would think information would be very slow moving on this front when it comes to Tiger Woods, and I'd also warn everybody to be a little bit careful about all the rumors and speculation and everything else that go out there on social media. Now, I heard this or this guy heard this. I got to be very careful of that kind of stuff. When it comes to Tiger Woods and this latest incident in the car accident out there in California. What's going on in the football world today? We'll talk a little bit about Zach Ertz, who's going to be gone from Philadelphia. Yeah. Obviously, Jags and Tyler Eifert. No, you surprised at all with the Eifert stuff?
No. I mean, not even close. I think he underachieved a little bit while in Jacksonville here. Obviously, he's on the back nine of his career, and I think that the Jaguars are in the market for a more dynamic playmaking tight end.
Here's the thing. I actually don't know what I expected from Tyler Eifert. I think staying healthy, which he did for a majority of the year, I thought was big. I remember the nice catch over the middle, a couple of them, actually. I thought he did an okay job. Like, I didn't expect him to get back to Pro Bowl form. I'm not sure many people did. They knew it was a little bit risky coming in here, and because, again, he had a very, very hard time staying healthy in his career. Recently, he had with Cincinnati. Yeah. So I also am not surprised to see him go, but I think this is just a story that won't go away in Jacksonville, and that is, what are they doing at tight end, and how are they going to get production at tight end? Like, I almost get tired of talking about it because I don't know what the solution is. I know your solution. Go get Kyle Pitts.
That is my solution.
Yeah, but that's not as easy. They would if they could, right? If it's easier, it's not. Okay, that's not an easy solution. Go get Hunter Henry. Well, he might get tagged. You can't do that.
Would have been smart. Did you see what he said, too?
Who, Henry?
That he wants to play in a place that has an elite quarterback.
Well, okay, we got one.
Okay. Done.
Yeah, I mean, we checked that box now, man.
All right.
I mean, we do.
All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
You're going to call the dude
he hasn't touched the field yet.
That's fine.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He basically doesn't want to go to the Jets. I get it.
Correct.
Listen, I don't know about Josh Oliver. I'm a sunshine and rainbows guy. They invested a third-round pick in him. The guy has not been healthy, and I think that's unfortunate for him, know? And so, therefore, we label him as a bust, and he's going to get the Marquise Lee kind of treatment, and it's just the way it goes. And he's going to have to stay healthy for somebody to turn that narrative around because we have no idea what to expect from him. I could sit here and tell you, hey, they're excited. I don't even know if they were excited about Josh Oliver internally. I don't think they ever got a chance to see him enough internally.
Well, and let's be honest, regardless of what he does this up-and-coming season, I don't think he's going to be starting off that every down tight end, right?
No
We're
way.
using the running game as well. So there is still a need there for that run-blocking tight end as well.
Yeah. Well, basically, they have to revamp the tight end room again.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you have Josh Oliver that might be this kind of mystery piece. That's fine. But you have to revamp, whether it's Freiermuth or Pitts or Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith. It's any of these guys. You have to go get tight ends. I'm to the point. This is why I didn't mind the Tyler Eifert signing. And I don't think this was a failure of his signing. I think he had 39 catches or 35. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's, again, I wasn't expecting him to be Travis Kelce. If you were, that's on you. Because I don't think the Jags were either. But they basically have to kick the tires and spin the carousel on the tight end until it stops and hits on a good place. Like, I look at the tight end spot for the Jags like a slot machine in Vegas, man. I mean, you just keep turning that lever and spending the money until you hit and makes you feel good, because they just have not been successful. We can talk about Mercedes Lewis. Love Mercedes Lewis. That ain't helping you these days. And even Mercedes Lewis probably gets elevated a little bit in terms of how good he was, because they just haven't had anything relatively good. Yeah. So, and I think Mercedes was a very good player, but I mean, he's like the best. He's like the standard that the Jags have. They need some help, and we say this all the time, that all the good teams seemingly have it. Yeah. And so that does lead us down to Zach Ertz. Is Zach Ertz a better option than a Tyler Eifert type that they brought in at this stage of his career?
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously Zach Ertz, he's had some injuries, but in terms of addressing the tight end position, I think Zach Ertz can do that. Now, you know how I feel about it. Overall, I'm going Kyle Pitts, because let's be honest, the way the NFL works right now, there's about 20 teams in this league that have a tight end problem, all right? And I think Kyle Pitts solves that for you. Now, does he even go past the top 10? I'm not sure, but I'll be honest. I watched Noah Fant run a 4.5 last year, and when I say a 4.5, I don't mean a 4.59 or a 4.58. I mean a legit 4.5, and I thought he was going top 15. Like I was number 20, I think it was. So while it's not a wrong possibility, I'm going Kyle Pitts. But if Zach Ertz, I read an article with Mike, or is it Mark K or Mike K? And I'm messing it up because there's so many Ks going around it. Mike K, yeah. So yeah, exactly. I've heard of him too. So Mike K out of Philly said that it's probably going to cost a 4th-round pick and then just take on Zach Ertz's contract, which obviously the Jaguars can take on the contract. A 4th-round pick, the Jaguars wouldn't even sniff, they wouldn't even frown at it to say. So I think Zach Ertz is a name that's definitely intriguing, but once again, you have to ask, is it a right fit for him to come here?
Yeah, he's going to have options. Tight end's a needy spot, and I'm trying to think how old is Zach Ertz? Born in 90, that would be, 31. So he's been terrific. Here's the deal. You can have Kyle Pitts. Who's can have Zach Ertz? Yeah. I can have Josh Oliver. They got plenty of room in the room.
They do. Yeah.
It's not a one-person solve the issue problem at the tight end spot.
Correct.
You need multiple players. Again, I think we could sit here and say defensive tackle is the biggest area in need. Tight end continues to be the biggest area in need because you just don't have anything. Like, you have nothing you can rely on at the tight end spot. We'll be back. Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Sunny today, a nice afternoon high around 70 degrees. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News. JAX from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Players is honored to support the efforts of Beach's Emergency Assistance Ministry in providing neighbors in need with emergency assistance and a path to economic stability. It's 14 days until the Players.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports JAX. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
Austin Lane.
I want you to put yourself in Leonard Fournette's shoes. Probably a little bigger shoes than you're rocking right now. Shocker, you're wearing sandals, and that's all good, though.
Brent Martineau.
Well, you are too. They're just like, I mean, they're just like, look like
might
Vans.
as well be. I might as well be.
Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690.
I spoke to him, and he was just seeing like how like locked in I was to 11, and I told him that I was locked in, and he was like, "That's cool, bro, because I'm probably gonna switch anyway." So it went really well, and he's just a cool guy. I mean, like, he didn't try to press me or anything like that. He asked me very respectfully, and I just appreciate him for that. I think that he's a great dude, because lots of guys with his status, like, they would come in and they would like demand and stuff like that. So I just think that he's a really great dude, and I get to keep 11. So it was a win for me.
What kind of status does Carson Wentz have? I mean, what are we doing here? Why should Carson Wentz have that much status?
What do you mean? That was Pittman. I mean, getting the number 11?
Yeah.
Because he's going to be throwing the football. And I feel like anybody that throws me the football from a wide receiver, I try to take care of and make happy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, whatever.
Did that answer your question?
So you're already saying there's going to be a chemistry problem?
Listen, no, not at all. I'm answering the question. I feel like if you're a second-year receiver who you still have a lot to prove.
And that's fair, by the way, the second-year part.
And we'll see what happens with T.Y. Hilton and some of the other guys, but you're probably going to have an expanded role this up-and-coming year. And your success, your next contract, depends on how well the quarterback does and how much you get the football. And if that guy's coming in and he wants your number, you know what? I might take offers, let's just say.
Well, yeah, I think offers are always good. I was surprised we had Jimmy Luck on. He said about $20,000 sometime. I thought we would go for more than that.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
Because Carson Wentz now, in fairness, he does have a brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so I would you maybe protect the brand. I don't know if number 11 matters to him at all. Like, again, I'm not a numbers guy, but I always seem to have 16 or 7 or like I had similar numbers when I played.
But like,
he was just given that number at North Dakota State.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So
now he's got a brand to protect on it.
Yeah.
Bit,
but
right?
even so, if I'm Pittman, I'm like, oh, you want number 11? Well, I know you got a pretty nice contract. How much it going to cost? How much you willing to give?
And once again, I can't stress this enough. To be starting on the wrong foot and demand that the guy that's going to be throwing you the football, and you're going to have all your success from this guy. I wouldn't push the envelope too much. But I don't think Carson Wentz really cares about the number 11. Pittman seems to be good with it. Everything's good in Indianapolis.
Did it say what number he's going to be?
I don't think it has.
18.
18. Good luck. Yeah.
I find it funny. I get it. Okay, I get the number thing. I really do. Yeah. I get there's respect amongst players. I just don't like how much should we respect Carson Wentz? Like I keep making this comparison. Apologies for it, but if Blake Bortles, right? Just hear me out.
Okay.
If Blake Bortles in 2000 before they re-signed him, had gotten traded, or halfway through 2018, he gets traded to, I don't know, Carolina. Okay. Do you think somebody, if they had number 5 on Carolina, would be like, oh, yeah, I got to give it to Blake Bortles? Like, he's really earned. I mean, Blake Bortles has earned a lot.
Did Blake Bortles almost win an MVP award? Would Blake Bortles have won an MVP award if he didn't get hurt?
You are stuck on this half a year that everybody's stuck on this half a year that Carson Wentz played good football.
No, I'm not stuck on the half year that he played good football. I'm stuck on the numbers that he put up. I'm stuck on the ceiling that he accomplished when he was playing his best football.
Go find me that year. Please.
Of Carson Wentz?
Yep.
All right, man.
I just want to know how many games it was because I do forget. Like, I forget.
Yeah, you're good.
It was like a 10-game, 12-game stretch like that. Tim Tebow should be in the Hall of Fame based on 12 games.
Very cool. His second year, it was 13 games. He went 11-2, threw 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
That was very good.
Did Blake Bortles do that?
His stretch was about 7 games.
Okay.
Of excellent play. He was the best quarterback in the month of
like,
December that same year.
Yeah, and listen, like I'm standing up for the small school guy in Carson Wentz, but like I'm not a Carson Wentz like defender or anything. Like I don't want to die on a Carson Wentz hill. I'm just saying the good that I saw from Carson Wentz back in 2017, I think it earns you something.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, 13 games earns you number for life.
Okay, well, I think it earns you more than Blake Bortles. Yeah, you know what? I think if Carson Wentz played around here and he went to the beach bars, I bet he gets all the free drinks that he wants more than Blake Bortles. So there you go.
Half a shot more.
All right.
I mean, listen, I don't know what Carson Wentz has earned going in. I guess that's my – it was an interesting comment that Pittman made. He obviously, in Pittman's mind, didn't earn a number. I mean, so – I mean, whether he's going to be catching passes, whether he's a young guy, shouldn't be staking claim to that, whether he should have tried to sell it. The fact that with a guy like his status what? Because people talk about him all the time, usually in a bad way, that he hasn't lived up to what he was supposed to be.
Sure. Oh, I think because, your quarterback, too, has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, make no mistake.
You have automatic status as a QB.
You definitely have automatic status. It's a double standard, and I'm not sure how the captains are going to shake out, but I assume that Carson Wentz is going to be on the short list to be a captain of the Indianapolis Colts next year. Or this up-and-coming season, I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that means something as well.
Yeah. I do think there's an automatic to that, right? I mean, Gardner Minshew was a captain this past year for the Jags. So,
was Bortles a captain?
Bortles was a captain,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was 17. It might have been 18.
Okay.
But he was one of the years he was a captain.
Gotcha.
So, I agree with that part. Listen, I'm not a Carson Wentz hater.
It sounds like you are a little bit.
Well, I just think some of the stuff on Wentz is carried away. Like, I think I've proven that. I think it's a bit carried away, like these assumptions on Wentz. But yet, I don't think people are making the same assumptions on Goff, and he's had a very – like, you can take my man Blake out of the way, okay? But Goff has gone to a Super Bowl and has won playoff games and has the same numbers as Carson Wentz. I don't think he gets the benefit of the doubt at all in this. Like, there's nobody talking about him like people talk about Wentz. Is it seriously just because of that 13-game stretch? Like, nobody's seen Goff play – to that ability?
No, absolutely not. I think the problem with Jared Goff is that people feel like Jared Goff, the reason why he was so good was because of the system.
Yeah.
People expect Jared Goff to go to Detroit now. It's like, all right, so guess what? You don't have McVay's system anymore. You don't have a fantastic wide receiver core per se. Now let's see how you do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's still, to me, there's still uncertainty about Jared Goff because you get the sense that he's been a quote unquote, I know it's going to take everybody off, a system quarterback as opposed to being kind of like that game record that you're supposed to be.
Well, and listen, and I don't disagree with it. Like, I have questions and curiosities about Jared Goff. Like, I'm not all in on Goff. I just don't think there's much difference between Goff and Wentz. Like, I think the numbers show that. I actually think Goff is much more proven in terms of going to a Super Bowl, winning multiple playoff games as a starting quarterback. And I do credit McVay. Like, it's just amazing to me the perception of some of the talk based on the fact that the reunion between Wentz and Reich in one bucket, and then the departure of McVay and Goff. And so we're putting like, okay, well, Goff's going to probably struggle. Oh, Wentz back with Reich. Oh, he's going to be great again. You know, it's just really, that's the perception. I understand not everybody's saying that, but it just feels like that with Carson Wentz. And he does go to a very good team. He's in a better situation than Goff in Detroit. So that's fair too. But I will, at least for now, until I see it, continue to say I really don't see much. And we have a little bit of a bet on this. And by the way, it's not like, I don't think you've said, I think Carson Wentz is going to return to MVP form and he's going to be a threat to win the MVP and Indianapolis is going to win the Super Bowl. I just really see a very minimal difference and maybe even less of one with Phillip Rivers going to Indianapolis and how he impacts the football team and Carson Wentz. Although
no, you can't say that. That's not the bet. The bet was that when Carson Wentz comes to Indianapolis, there's not going to be a drop-off of quarterback play. It's going to be the exact same numbers. And you thought that Carson Wentz was going to be below Phillip Rivers.
That's what I just said.
Okay, but you're making it sound like they're not going to skip a beat. Like it's going to be the same thing.
No. What I'm trying to say is the perception is that Carson Wentz is going to elevate their team much more than Rivers did.
Okay.
Like everybody's like, well, Rivers, we'll see what Rivers shows up.
It was the big we'll see.
And that was the we'll see as he lost it. And like, so the perception was more, it felt like the betting odds were that he didn't have it anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
Yet Wentz, who's proven really nothing in the last couple of years, there's the betting odds seem like he's going to find it again.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I'm saying. Like,
I got you.
I'm betting against that. You're right. I'm betting against I bet for Phillip Rivers, and I'm going to get a bet against Carson Wentz here.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the perception is totally different in that regard.
All right. So 2019. So not last year, but the previous year. 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Like, am I crazy or is that not that bad?
No, that's pretty good.
Well, that was 2019. That was 16.
Oh, you made it through the whole year there.
Yeah, that was literally 2 years ago.
So they didn't make the playoffs that year?
They went 9-7.
I must have just missed.
Yep.
Because he's never started a playoff game.
Yeah.
So he must have just missed.
Or did he? Yeah, because when was the?
He's never started a playoff game.
No, come on, no. That was because when was the double doink year? That was the year.
Wasn't it? Foles played in the double doink year.
Maybe right then. 2017 that would have been?
18,
I'm sorry.
18 was the year the Chicago defense was really good.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
And then the double doink year happened because, again, Wentz didn't finish the season.
Yeah.
And then Foles came in. They got hot in December again with Foles.
Yeah.
And they needed that last game against the Texans. That's right.
No, the double doink was January 6, 2019.
Okay, but that's the 18th season.
18 season. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So what happened was Wentz actually made it through 19. They go 9-7, but they missed the playoffs.
Correct. Yeah. And then, okay.
But you're right. That's not a bad year at all. 27. I mean, heck, no. Anybody would take that. 27-7, 4,000 yards.
And then back in 2018, he only played in 11 games, had over 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So there you go. Take that for what you want. Once again, here I am dying on the Carson Wentz hill, which was a hill I didn't want to die on.
Listen, and again, I'm not really rooting for him to be like an MVP because then that would play bad against Jacksonville here. But I'm a Carson Wentz fan. I think Philly probably should have kept him, to be honest with you, and tried to resurrect his career and not give up so soon. I just feel like getting out of people put way too much into change of scenery sometimes and reunions with coaches.
This is true.
I don't know if it's as simple as that. I think we've seen a lot of stories where we thought it could get back together and it could work, and it might even been a hint of it working. I mean, I'll give you Cam Newton, okay? Cam Newton this year, people had given up on Cam Newton. for the most part. Cam Newton comes in the first 3 or 4 weeks, but especially like the first couple when he went to Seattle, it was like, holy cow! How did the Patriots did it again? They got this bargain of a deal. Throws for 400 yards, should have beat Seattle on that night, goes toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson, and then Cam Newton was back to Cam Newton.
Sure.
And now we wonder if Cam Newton really should ever start again in the NFL.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
So
and now he's going to be made fun of by kids at his own football camp. At his own football camp.
That's my cautionary tale of getting a little wrapped up before we see a guy come out of whatever funk he is in.
Yeah.
And by the way, Cam's situation totally different than Wentz's, but both were in a funk.
Sure. No, listen. Last year for Carson Wentz was bad.
Yeah.
It looked like I've said it before. It appeared that he had the yips. Okay, and this is coming from a guy who watched Joel Stave play at Wisconsin, who actually was clinically like the doctor said he had the yips. All right,
the doctor said he
had the yips.
If the doctor says you have the yips, you're screwed.
It might have been the same doctor from LA who was puncturing lungs. Not sure how good the doctor was, but the diagnosis, and he had all the symptoms because I watched every game that year. He had the yips. Okay, and that's what Carson Wentz looked like last year. So can he overcome that? Change his scenery? We'll see, but let's be honest. It really can't get as bad as it was last year for Carson Wentz.
Real quick, we were talking tight ends, okay, because Zach Ertz, and it kind of got us onto all this stuff. It's a winding story here on Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690 on a Tuesday. But here's what the Jags have in their tight end room. James O'Shaughnessy, although he's a free agent as well. I think that's what red means on here. So I don't know if they'll bring him back. I mean, they've gotten some good play out of James, but also battled injuries. Eifert doesn't sound like he's coming back. They have Josh Oliver. They have Tyler Davis, who they did draft. Now, again, I'm not all in on that, but we'll see. And Eric Saubert and Ben Ellison. I mean, Austin Lane, they really have nothing at the tight end position.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Austin Lane for tight end, and I was getting excited for a second because I played in high school.
I'd advocate it.
Oh, thank you, man. You can talk to somebody? Well, Dave's gone. Your homie's gone. Let's be honest here. I'm sure you guys are sharing beers, hanging out at the country clubs, but he's gone.
You have some connections.
I have connections?
Just make it happen.
Hey, well, I could have connections, but I'll probably be in Detroit. So, hey, TJ Hawkinson, move over, man.
By the way.
What's up?
I mean, you have...
What's up?
Tony Khan's bringing, Shaq to AEW.
Man,
you can't text Tony Khan, say, I want to try out at tight end.
That's a good point.
Hey, Tony, here's my analytics.
Yeah. By the way, I was asked to cover that event tomorrow, but I couldn't because I got training, unfortunately. But somebody reached out to me and asked me if I would cover the Shaquille O'Neal appearance.
Why didn't they ask me? Like we are allowed to cover it?
Somebody want to tell Brent? No. Hey. It's not we anything.
It's you.
I.
You're the only one invited.
I. Yeah, it's I. And I'm sorry.
Hey, go WWE.
Brent, I have a reputation to uphold, and now you're ruining it.
Hey,
you're gonna drag my name through the mud.
I thought we were partners.
We are partners. Well, then give me your Elimination Chamber breakdown from this past Sunday. Then let's go. You gotta earn it, Brent. Yeah. You got anything?
Is that AEW?
No, Elimination. Oh, hey,
we're good.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're all set here. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're not going tomorrow with questions like that.
I know who Shaq is.
You know who Shaq is. That's for sure. That's for sure.
We'll be back. What is that whole story?
It's crazy.
We'll talk about it next. Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690. I feel a TNT connection.
ESPN 690 Sportscenter update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. In Jags roster news, the team has declined to pick up tight end Tyler Eifert's contract option, which will make him a free agent in the spring. In video game news, when EA releases its college football game, it may have to be without Notre Dame. They've opted out until the game has ironed out some of the compensation issues and the rules that go along with that compensation. And finally, Seattle Mariners president and CEO Kevin Mather resigned Monday after comments he made at a Rotary Club earlier this month. Here's Jeff Passan, ESPN MLB Insider.
It was the stuff about the English language that really stood out from Kevin Mather's speech, and what John Stanton, the owner of the Seattle Mariners, said just did not go along with the organization's tenets. That's why he ended up resigning, and the hope is that this is an incident that can serve as a learning lesson for people around baseball, that this type of behavior simply won't be tolerated.
SportsCenter Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hello,
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us Training Helpline. Today we're explaining the term verified alarm to all you newbies out there.
Oh, boss, I can explain that. A verified alarm just means that whatever caused the security system alarm to go off has been verified.
Correct. And what alarm company is known for providing the fastest verified alarms?
SafeTouch Security.
Exactly, because SafeTouch has the two-way communicator, which leads to alarm verification within seconds.
And alarm verification is very bad for us crooks.
Yeah, unlike a non-verified alarm that police label a low priority.
Like right below getting Grandma's cat out of a tree low.
So, to sum up, verified alarms. Just one more reason we crooks have the golden rule, stay away from SafeTouch houses. Remember that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, kitty, kitty.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. So what are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 RAV4 LE or a new 2021 Tacoma SR. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $299 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
Small businesses continue to face many challenges resulting from the prolonged pandemic. Business owners are working hard to maintain customers, adjust operations, and retain key personnel. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to offer their assistance. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. In addition to ongoing mentoring, we are conducting webinars on topics that can provide timely advice. Visit jacksonville.score.org today for links with more information.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Hi, I'm Larry Self, owner of The Casket Store. For the past 20 years, we've been helping people plan ahead with affordable options and quality products. Often people are caught by surprise and in the midst of their grief end up paying much more for the exact same casket. We offer cemetery headstones, bronze markers, caskets, urns, and more at 40 to 70% off standard funeral prices. Please visit us at thecasketstore.com.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtogetscreened.com.
The Players is honored to support the efforts of Beach's Emergency Assistance Ministry in providing neighbors in need with emergency assistance and a path to economic stability. It's 14 days until the Players.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti.
I despise analytics. It felt like Kevin Cash lost his ability to feel the game.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Hey, the big sports story, Tiger Woods in a single-car crash, and it looks to be a bad one. His agent saying multiple leg injuries in surgery, and that's all we know. I wish they would say non-life-threatening injuries, but that was not part of the statement. Although if you think it's multiple leg injuries, it seems far-fetched that anything too much further, but we're just guessing at that and speculating on that. So all what we know is single car accident, multiple leg injuries in California, and that's it. And he's in surgery. So we'll continue to keep you updated on what is now the dominating big story in not only just sports, but Tiger Woods transcends sports in a big-time way. This is the lead story of probably every newscast in America coming up here at 4, including our own on Fox 30 and CBS 47. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos, Stuart Weber checks in. I want to get to Shaq and wrestling in a moment, but while we have Weber, there's a bunch of high school events coming up tonight, and we will be all over the place with Action Sports JAX. Have it for you on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30 later tonight. But too many to get, Weber.
Too many. In a well-worded tweet the other day, you asked, why can't we spread these out a little bit? And it's a very valid question. So tonight, on the soccer pitch, you have both boys and girls regional finals, basically a state quarterfinal. And of the state quarterfinals all across the entire state, like 10 of them are happening in our area. So a lot of games, both on the boys and girls side. So we'll make a couple appearances at those. And then you also have boys basketball regional semifinals. So second round of the playoffs, round of 32, if you will. That's happening as well tonight with some pretty good local matchups in that, too. Obviously, Paxton at West Nassau is going to be awesome just with the star power of that one. And then you got another Jackson and Bishop Snyder matchup. They met in the district championship. Now they go again, but this one, winner goes home. Or winner moves on, loser goes home. So lots of good games everywhere.
The frustration for us in TV land, and I honestly don't know the answer to this. We love to get local sports.
Of course.
And I think we had like 20, probably about 20 in the last couple of weeks, high school games on, okay, from all different sports. And so the more you can get, the better. And this is the winter sports season. This is playoff time. We're down the nitty-gritty. Final Four, in fact, in girls hoops coming up later this week.
3 teams made it there, by the way.
But do they have to put everything on Tuesday? Like, does it have to be a Tuesday, Friday thing? And, again, I'm saying this without being critical to the FHSAA. It might not matter to them that we're trying to cover it. The newspaper stuff, if people cover it guys like Clayton Freeman, and there's probably enough space to list all the scores, right? Now, he's only going to go to one game if he's going to cover it like that, maybe do a front story on it. Radio stations, quite frankly, aren't sitting there going to it, but the TV stations I know in town try to get as many events. I don't understand why they couldn't put boys and girls soccer on like a Monday and Wednesday, or a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday, or a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Like, is that a doable thing? Can we petition to do this? And I don't know if other people around the state are trying to cover it like we cover it. I would assume they are.
All the other markets are having the exact same problem we are tonight, where they have way too many games going on at once. Certainly tends to be an issue. I especially feel for like parents who maybe have a kid in both sports. Not that ever happens.
No,
right?
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen, right?
No, never.
But,
that's my kid's fault, though. They play baseball and softball. I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's you and Steph's fault for having twins that are a boy and a girl.
Well, Brent, you should have got them in wrestling or something. Come on, man.
Then they could have been in the same venue.
That's on you, Brent.
Would have been in the same venue with that. But, it has a lot to do with just the way the schedules are put together and all that. But
well, because here's the biggest thing, right? You need some days between soccer.
Yes.
Right? Soccer, you're not going to run it on back-to-back days, most likely. But my thought is, if we can help put more of the soccer teams on, the local soccer teams on in the area, then we could do girls tonight on Tuesday, and we have like 5 games to get to, and we're still not going to get to them all.
Yeah.
But then we do the boys on Wednesday, and so then they play again on Friday and Saturday, right? So, I mean, is that really does that upset the scheduling that much when it gets to the state level and funnels all down? I don't know.
I'll throw this out. I think the thought process is that by the time you get to this level, you're not going to have as many teams from each individual area in there. We just have some really good teams.
I guess so. I mean, we have
so many teams that are competing in these regional finals.
14 events going on tonight, and that doesn't count spring sports. Like, I'm talking
about, by the way, the Heritage Classic tonight as well. Reigns and Ribault playing down at the baseball grounds,
which is very cool. And that's been rescheduled a couple times. So, but we're not even talking about like in basketball. We're going to West Nass or Snyder, say. We're counting that as one game to get, even though they're playing Jackson, which is a local team. So, like, a lot of the basketball stuff is all local versus local at this stage. Anyway, I'm not really complaining. I'm just looking for a better solution because what we're going to do is we're going to get the complaints from – we'll be like, why didn't you put us on TV? Why don't you put us on TV?
Can't make everybody happy,
we can't do it all.
Here's the key, soccer teams. If you see my camera or Marcel's camera,
do something good.
Now's the time to score. We don't have a lot of time to waste. Score.
Soccer makes that difficult.
Score when the camera is there. Basketball, really easy. I can get 3 buckets. I can get out. Soccer, gonna need some help.
You have to have like a giant sign or like even like a giant
score
billboard.
now.
No, but put it on the Action Sports like vehicle where you pull up. Also, there's like music. It's coming now. Here comes Action Sports vehicle. You got like 5 minutes. Get ready. Yeah, something like that.
That's a good idea.
Not bad.
That's a good idea, right there.
I like
that.
man. Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll give you one more behind the business type thing. We're in a ratings period, right? So they're not going to give more than our normal time to sports. They just won't on the newscast.
Sure.
So we can actually cover more tonight than we can show in our sportscast, and we might still
we'll
then
throw
put
some
it
on
on
the web.
social media. But like we seriously could cover more. We just don't have the time for it in our newscast because they're not going to give us more time. So it might be like just an us problem. Like I know nobody else really cares. But the bottom line is, I think the end result of us talking about is we want to put the kids on TV. Like this, the kids like to be on TV. So let's try to get them on TV more.
But like, don't blame the ratings though. Because at the end of the day, you guys have the final say of who gets aired and who doesn't get aired in that short amount of time.
Make good plays, guys.
How many games are we going to tonight? How many highlights of games will we have? You think between 5 and 10?
Games. We'll get to like 8. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Watch CBS 47, Fox 30 tonight.
Yeah. And maybe throw like a crazy celebration. Maybe really up the ante. Maybe get on TV. Throw a crazy celebration if you score a goal. Just saying.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I like backflips.
Against the rules.
Backflips.
Can you celebrate in high school soccer? Yeah. Can you do like a celebration? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You can give a quick one. As long as it's not long and drawn out in somebody's face.
I want choreographed celebrations, everybody.
Advocated for a backflip celebration. Red card coming tonight.
One quick little backflip's not going to kill anybody.
I'm just saying,
unless they don't land it. I don't know.
And he doesn't land it.
It's
bad. I'm going to feel really bad about that.
All right. Good luck to everybody out there tonight. We'll be as many places as we can.
Score lots of goals.
And we'll continue to follow all the local teams throughout the playoffs and the winter sports to come. We'll be right back. We will talk Shaq and wrestling on Action Sports Shaq's on ESPN 690. Then a little behind the scenes of scouting on the way in the 4 o'clock hour as well.
Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks Are Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
There's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number 1?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, Just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
DSC. There are so many razors out there. How do you choose which one's right for you? Well, at Dollar Shave Club, we got you. With a 6-blade cartridge for daily shavers with short hair and a 4-blade cartridge for less frequent shavers with longer hair. Still confused? Well, we put both blades in one new starter box, so you can test drive both. Check out dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, and visit DSC at your nearest store. You've got questions, we got answers. Welcome to the club.
Now at a store near you.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Morning near Los Angeles, according to his agent, Mark Steinberg. Woods' condition not clear yet. Emergency personnel removed Woods from the vehicle using the jaws of life. The vehicle sustained major damage. Today's the first day NFL teams can put the franchise or transition tag on their respective free agents. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott expected to dominate much of the conversation and whether he gets a long-term deal or is tagged again. Regardless of what happens in Dallas, Dak comes out on top, in the opinion of Monday Night Football's Louis Riddick.
Either he's going to make $70 million over the past 2 years or within the next 2 years, or he's going to get a long-term contract in this contract cycle that probably is going to average around $40 million per year, or he's going to hit the free agency market in about 12 months from now and absolutely just clean up.
Louis Riddick. NBA Nets forward Kevin Durant out a 5th straight game tonight against the Kings with a strained hamstring. Brooklyn's riding a 6-game winning streak.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Given the hand that I was dealt, bro, like, going into last year, is he healthy? I just wanted to finish healthy. Now it's like if I'm able to learn his system, like, come on, bro, I can't go out like that. My pride won't even allow me to do that. And you can talk about this, you can talk about that, you can talk about whatever. Listen, bro, there's not 32 guys better than me. Put it like that. So if you're asking me, like, bro, I'm not 32. Like, real talk. Like, I'm like, when you put it like that, bro, I'm not the 32 worst. Like, come on, man.
I know who that is. You know who that is, Brent?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You think he's got a point? You think there's, like, for instance, would another team benefit right now by having Cam Newton as their starter opposed to what they have right now?
I think the short answer to that is yes.
Okay.
I think I have to search far and wide. I will. Let's do it real fast.
Yeah. Well,
give me somebody.
The Dolphins.
Panthers.
Are the Dolphins better with Cam Newton than Tua?
No, obviously there's a lot of unknown with Tua. You're going to invest in Tua.
No, I get it. I know what you're saying. Like you're saying, like right now.
I'm saying right now.
Like go start a game.
Yeah.
I don't think Cam Newton's very good right now.
And you're not wrong. Okay, so you'd take Tua.
I think it's so marginal that I would. I think I'd ride with the upside of Tua.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Drew Lock.
I was going to say the Broncos
in
were
Denver.
next. Yes.
Because he's got some people around him. See, the one thing about Miami is not a lot around him. New England didn't have a ton around him, you know?
Yeah.
So if he goes into a good situation where there's some players now in Denver.
Yeah.
And Drew Lock's had moments. Whew. Maybe Chicago?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. I mean, would you take Mitch Trubisky right now or Cam Newton? But you know what? When you see Trubisky's numbers, though, I mean, they're not good, but like I might actually take Mitch Trubisky over Cam Newton right now, as bad as that sounds.
Really?
Sorry, Cam. I mean, listen.
Well, if you just say that, then I'm not sure there's an answer yes. Because Trubisky by far
what
is
does Washington have, though? I mean, do they have Smith technically right now?
I guess you could say Smith or Heineke.
Yeah. You'd take Cam over Heineke, wouldn't you?
I would.
And, I mean, it was one game.
I know it was one game.
Yeah. Giants?
No.
Giants?
Not a chance.
You can ask again, Giants?
No.
I guarantee Cam
Why
Newton.
do you hate Daniel Jones?
Hey, Cam Newton doesn't flip over the 20-yard line and get sniped like that and actually scores a touchdown. I'll tell you that much right
Daniel
now.
Jones
I don't
beat
care.
Cam Newton in a race.
I don't care how old Cam Newton is. Huh?
Daniel Jones beat Cam Newton in a race.
Show me the Carfax. I'm not buying it. Show me that Carfax. Kuz had a good one.
No, he can't run over the 20-yard line.
The Panthers. You think Cam Newton loses a race to Daniel Jones right now? I look at the 40. I look see the 40 times real quick. But what about Kuz's? While I look up the 40 times, the Carolina Panthers.
No, I take Teddy Bridgewater all day over him.
Okay. Wow. Didn't even hesitate.
No, I don't think that's a good one.
All right, now keep in mind.
I'll give you one. How about New Orleans without Breeze?
No, because you got whatchamacallit, Taysom Hill. The Stormin' Mormon.
So you take Taysom Hill over Cam? I would take Jameis over Cam.
Yeah, well, I know, but I was trying to compare Cam Newton and Taysom Hill because they kind of do the same thing right now in their career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston. 40-yard dash times. Here we go. You ready for this one?
Cam Newton was 21 years ago.
Hey, let's just see real quick. All right, let's see what Daniel Jones is bringing to the table here. Okay, so Daniel Jones, official time. You ready for this? 4.82.
Okay.
4.8. Now keep in mind, I ran a 4.8 as well. So, and I was 270 pounds. Cam Newton, official time, 4.59. So do you think Cam Newton lost 0.2 of a second? So 0.2 of a second over 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years?
Yes,
I think so. I think Cam Newton's winning that race.
I don't think so.
I think Cam Newton wins that race 9 times out of 10.
I don't.
I think he wins it 9 times out of 10.
I think Daniel Jones pretty quick.
He ran I just told you 4.82. Oh,
what about Philly?
What,
Jalen Hurts.
Did you mean? Well, yeah, Jalen Hurts can win a 40-yard dash now.
No. I mean Cam going to Philly.
He's a quarterback.
Oh, I don't even care about that conversation anymore. We're talking about 40-yard dashes now. No. I think you listen. You let go of Carson Wentz for a reason. I think you're pot committed on Jalen Hurts unless there's a plan in the draft. But I take Jalen Hurts right now.
Hey, real quick, Shaq.
Yeah.
AEW.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. So this has been kind of building up for a while. And it's funny because originally this is supposed to be Cody's wife. So it'd be, you know what Cody Rhodes is.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And then
We're
Brandy
buddies.
Rhodes. Oh, careful. And then you got Brandy Rhodes, who is his wife. She wrestles as well. Well, it was supposed to be them taking on Shaq and this girl by the name of Jade Cargill. And by the way, you want to brag about how much you lift weights? Jade Cargill could lift you underneath the table, hands down. Okay, telling you right now. So mind your P's and Q's.
Okay.
Well, Brandy Rhodes actually announced that she was pregnant. So it kind of threw the storyline off a little bit, it seemed. So then they got this girl by the name of Red Velvet, who is now going to be Cody Rhodes' partner. And obviously it's like Brandy's friend, in the storyline. So yeah, it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet taking on Shaq and Jade Cargill. And, I think this match is kind of mixed with a couple different reactions here. Like, I think the hardcore fans are kind of like, we've seen this before with celebrities, right? And they're like, keep these pro athletes away from my wrestling, because there's a bunch of purists out there, let's just say. And I think in terms of purists, Brent, like AEW is the purist fandom, right? Because the WWE's got a bunch more gimmicks and things like that. AEW seems to be more of the soul of wrestling, let's just say. So the Shaq news it's a little surprising. But with that being said, I think Tony Khan's doing a smart thing here. They're going to show this match during Dynamite. So it's not going to be like a pay-per-view where you got to pay, a certain amount of money to watch this thing. This is during the regular show on Wednesdays. Now, obviously, the pressure is going to be on Shaq because we know what kind of wrestler Cody Rhodes is. Red Velvet is great in her own right. Jade Cargill, we haven't seen too much, but I assume she's going to bring the A game. It all comes down to Shaq. If Shaq can actually sell this thing, and make it interesting, I think it's going to be a home run. If Shaq comes out there and it's, there's some botched moves here or there, I think it kind of cheapens it a little bit, and it's kind of a ratings grab. So we'll see.
So, but isn't Shaq awesome at this stuff? I mean, don't you think he'd be very good at it?
Listen, I think Shaq, his personality, and don't despise his work ethic's the real deal too. So I think he's going to come in here,
and he'll take it serious,
and he's going to do his thing. To me, it reminds me a little bit of Pat McAfee. Now it's different body types, different personalities, all this stuff. But people were very leery of Pat McAfee when he went to NXT. Right? I mean, this punter guy from the NFL.
Yeah.
And, once again, the diehard fans are like, what is this guy doing here?
And it's working.
Well, guess what? It worked because he was great on the microphone. Obviously, he's got his own show. If you listen to his show before, you know how eloquent of a speaker he is. But also, he showcased some surprise athleticism. So it was a home run for NXT. I feel like now AEW sees Pat McAfee. It's like, all right, well, we're going to raise you Shaquille O'Neal.
Should they have? So obviously, there's a TNT connection here,
Of
right?
course.
I mean, AEW's on TNT.
Yeah, and Shaq's cutting promos on the halftime
Which
show
is
and
good.
everything.
Hey, that's good. I mean, that's the way the business works. But
cross-platform.
So, do you think should they have reached out to Shaq or Barkley?
Well, and this is a great point. What would be the money move here was to have Barkley be like the manager.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like the headpiece. I mean, you remember like the days of Jimmy Hart and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have him be the mouthpiece. Shaq doesn't even cut a promo.
Time or something.
Yeah, maybe next time. But I didn't even think about that. That's a genius move.
Yeah, I think that somehow working the two in now might be too much.
Yeah.
But that would be something.
Well, that's the thing, though, Brent. I mean, listen, Shaq might be too much. So if you're going to go above, if you're going to go all out, then go all out and get Charles Barkley as well.
Yeah. Should we do our show from Daly's place tomorrow? Shaq's going to be there. I mean, should we see if we get him on?
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
I mean, you're the one that said you had connections.
Yeah, I mean, so I was asked.
They want us to promote it.
Well, I was asked to cover it. They gave me some details in the email and stuff like that.
Thanks for sharing.
I didn't get paid for that. I don't know if we were really going to.
That's true. But guess who's the guy who brought it up today? Me.
That's Mr. Martineau. But yeah, I mean, listen, so since they didn't really pay us, I'm not going to say it's going to be on AEW Wednesday night, March 3rd, and I'm not going to say that they'll be adhering to a strict safety precaution of only 15% capacity at Daly's place. And obviously, I can't say because they haven't paid me to say it, so I can't say that fans can purchase tickets at AEWTix.com, and I can't say they're only going to be $20. I can't say any of that, but AEWTix.com. I didn't.
Between Tix and Tids, you're freaking me out.
And then Kuz made it weird.
Down, Kuz.
I think Kuz made it weird. So I can't tell you any of that. And I also can't tell you that ahead of the show, TNT at 8 p.m., Tony Schiavone will be joining, obviously, the pre-show, Jim Ross, Young Bucks, everybody.
All right, last thing for you. 15% capacity. Would they have filled that regardless, or will Shaq be a draw?
I think, no, they're going to fill that regardless, I believe, yeah.
I don't know what it's been like.
Yeah, I think it's been okay.
All right.
But once again, I can't talk about it because we're not getting paid to say this. So
we're going to go to Nashville, Tennessee. I think we're going to Nashville, Tennessee right now. I don't know where Blake Bettingfield is, but Blake, first of all, welcome to the show. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, Austin Lane, Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690. We're going to talk a lot of football, but have you ever come on a show and followed wrestling talk with Shaquille O'Neal, AEW, and the rest?
I can't say I followed the wrestling talk with Shaquille O'Neal. That's a first.
Good luck. Stakes have never been higher.
We cover everything here, Blake. Absolutely. Blake Bettingfield, are you in Nashville? You still in Nashville? Is that where you're hanging out?
I am in Nashville. I've been here 20-something years, and it's hard to leave. I've got kids in school here, and they don't want to leave. So it's a good place to live right now.
It's a good place, all but the Titans. You might know that we don't like the Titans much. And, of course, you were only in the college scouting department with Tennessee for, 19 years. So I guess I'm not supposed to say that to you. How big internally is that rivalry with the Jags? Can you feel it?
Always. I started back in '99, and that was the Super Bowl year for the Titans and a great year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it was always a rivalry because of the talent that Jacksonville had back in those days. It was really, it was really something that you knew you had to go through Jacksonville to get to where you wanted in the playoffs and eventually the Super Bowl because they just had such great skill and talent back then. There's no question about it.
Blake Bettingfield with us. Hey, what does we hear about the scouting department. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into the draft, and every team wants to build through the draft. Like we cover the NFL to know that, all that stuff. Urban Meyer's, resetting the whole thing down here in Jacksonville. But at the sake of sounding dumb, what is the director of college scouting? Like, what do you do day in, day out as a director of college scouting?
The director of college scouting, especially in the fall when the college football season is going on, is really kind of orchestrating the college scouts underneath him, the regional scouts, the other directors, and really going out and maybe canvassing the country and making sure every prospect is being looked at. The director will also go over the top and look at the top 150 to 200 top players in the country. So he will travel as well throughout the country, but mainly orchestrating kind of the other scouts, especially the area and regional scouts, and making sure that every player is looked at and we don't miss one. That's the fall part. The spring, it really amps up into kind of another area. You get involved as the director of college scouting. You get involved in free agency. You want to see the direction that the coaching staff wants to go in for the following year, leading up to draft meetings, combine, pro days, and then eventually the meetings right before the draft and then the draft itself. So it's a 12-month job. It's when you're not on the road, and I would travel roughly 130, 135 days a year. When I wasn't on the road, I was in the office and working coaches' hours then. It's a fun job. I call it work, but I don't think I ever worked a day in my life because all I got to do was watch football for a living.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Marriott points, you're probably still spending them. He's scouting director
no doubt.
For the Tennessee Titans for 19 years. Now his own website, bettingfieldsports.com. So you're dealing with all sorts of level players now. What are you exactly doing, and how are you impacting really the sport of football in the kind of your new gig?
I wanted to kind of quit traveling and started my own company. I still have that passion to be in football. I still do some consulting in the NFL with different teams on different positions, and I've started working in the college environment as well. And what I've done is I go to different universities and help set up their recruiting departments, just like an NFL scouting department. The recruiting departments on the college level have gotten so big now that I've got to go in, set up a grading system, evaluate the entire roster, and teach the recruiters how to evaluate players and what to look for. And then I've gotten into the high school area as well. So what I've done there is I've taken on a kind of an elite group of players, and I help promote them using my contacts through 20 years in the NFL at the college level, using my contacts to help get players scholarships. And I've had a lot of success with that. And I always tell players and parents, I can't guarantee you a scholarship. I can just guarantee that the right people are going to look at it, because all those people are contacts and friends of mine from over the years of scouting.
Blake, when we talk about the modern NFL now, obviously the running back position in terms of draftability, people always want to say, well, wait till, at least the third round. The draft is so deep with running backs. Never spend a first-round pick or even a second-round pick on a running back. Well, if you look at your resume, I guess you would say, two guys stick out to me as guys that you kind of, I don't want to say risked it, but like Chris Johnson, for instance, first round pick, small school guy to Eastern Carolina, obviously ran the blazing 40-yard dash, and then Derrick Henry, taking him in the second round. Like, what went into that process? Like, I guess you kind of share a little contrarian idea of you should take a running back in the first or second round if he's good enough?
I think it depends on the team, to be honest with you. It depends on the makeup of your team. At that point, when we took Chris Johnson, we really didn't have the other pieces in place on offense. And if you don't have an elite-level quarterback, if you don't have a franchise quarterback, you better have players on offense that can supplement that, the inability or the weaknesses of the quarterback that you have. And there's only a handful in the NFL every year. I think Jacksonville's going to get one this year in the draft, and they position themselves well to get somebody that is going to be looked at as a franchise-type quarterback, someone that can carry the other players on offense. So in Chris Johnson, for example, we didn't have the other offensive players to really stand out. We held him in high regard, thought he was a home run hitter. Growing up kind of in the Titan organization, had the Eddie Georges, who were a consistent 4 yards to carry back, big time, 20, 25 carries a game. It ended up getting you 100 yards, but not someone that was a home run hitter type. But we had the quarterback in Steven there that was. And so when we took Chris Johnson, we needed a home run hitter. When you go to Derrick Henry was a player that we valued so highly in the draft. When he fell to the second round, we had 3 second-round picks. It was just in my opinion, just a no-brainer at that point. It was an offense that was really lacking a number of offensive talent players. It was a head coach that Mike Mularkey that wanted to run the football, and we had DeMarco Murray as an aging type veteran running back, and needed somebody to kind of carry the load once he retired. And I think a running back is really important today if you can get someone that is a difference maker. Just to take one in the first round
that's not a difference maker, I think, is a mistake in the draft because there's other premium positions. I put the premium positions in the NFL at quarterback, left tackle, and pass rusher. And if you look in free agency this year alone, it's going to be rare because you're going to have some pass rushers available. But for the most part, left tackles, quarterbacks, and pass rushers are usually not available, and you have to take those in the draft.
BettingfieldSports.com. Appreciate the time. Blake Bettingfield joining us on Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690, talking about scouting the process and as you get ready for the NFL draft. Obviously, it's a big one here in Jacksonville, 11 picks, a ton of money to spend in free agency, all the rest. But before I ask you a little bit about even more of the process, I got to ask you more about Derrick Henry, man. He's a Jacksonville guy, Yulee High School. You know, I've covered him since he was in 8th grade. And by the way, he was like as big as he is now in 8th grade, and, which you probably know. And, I mean, it's just incredible. He seemingly would get bigger every year I went over there, but I didn't know how he would get any bigger. And when he went to Alabama, people really thought Nick Saban was going to turn him into a linebacker, and just said, you're not going to make it as a running back. And obviously, you know the story, national championship, Heisman Trophy. But even in the NFL, and especially with his career off to somewhat of a slow start, and I think the word out of Tennessee was they might even be looking into trading him at one time before it really kicked in and they just started giving him the ball. And now look at what he's been able to do. What were the discussions like around Derrick? I mean, did you think he would be this good, 2,000-yard guy, offensive MVP or player of the year in the NFL, potentially on his way to Canton, Ohio? I know you thought he'd be good. You wouldn't have picked him in the second round. But what kind of conversations go into a guy like that with his build and the wear and tear that he would take?
You know, the conversations where Derrick I thought it was pretty simple from a scouting perspective. You look at his high school career, highly successful, ultra productive. He goes to college and really was patient and waited his time to become the guy. And when he did, he was highly productive, you know, very competitive, outstanding worker, all the qualities you want to bring in that bell cow of your offense, someone that's going to kind of set the tone of your team. And when he came to the NFL, he sat behind a DeMarco Murray, kind of an alpha dog. DeMarco was an alpha dog personality, really didn't want his reps taken, whether in games or practice, by Derrick Henry because he saw the talent that Derrick was bringing to the table. And what ended up happening is Derrick, with that patience that he acquired at Alabama with that stable of running backs they had, he was able to be patient and wait his time. And when he got it, he took off, and he never looked back. And that's the thing about Derrick through the scouting process for a director or an area scout. It was such an easy evaluation. It was someone that I knew I could hang my hat on and say, at the very least, if we don't screw him up, if we don't, keep changing offenses on him, if we kind of structure things around him, he's going to be a very successful player because he's already proven that with his track record of success. So it was really kind of an easy evaluation. Now, the evaluation takes on more than just what you've seen in the past. And what you have to do is not screw him up, coaching-wise, organization-wise, and put players around him to be successful. And the team started to build the offensive line and, brought in some other players to take a little bit of pressure off of him, which made him really successful. Did I see a 2,000-yard back in him? No, I can't say that. That was such a hard thing. I watched Chris Johnson go through it with so many big, long runs that kind of created that 2,000 yards when he had it. I never thought Derrick would really achieve that kind of success, but being what he was at Alabama and being what he was in high school, I could see that track record showing up in the NFL. I
mean, I know all these names like on your website, from Albert Hainsworth to Derrick to Taylor Lewan to Vince Young, Javon Curse. It wasn't just one person; it was your whole staff. But two 2,000-yard rushers, your staff, and you were a part of. I mean, I can't imagine anybody else can say that, right?
No, I don't think there was a person. Somebody brought that up to me recently, and I said, I'd have to go back and look if there was a director or scout that actually scouted 2,000-yard rushers. I don't think that's happened, especially in today's football where everything is passing game. That's kind of changed. It may not happen again for a long, long time until that cycle goes back to running the football a little bit more.
Blake, you said it, and we've mentioned Trevor Lawrence this conversation prior here a little bit. And Jacksonville's excited for Trevor Lawrence. You start to hear the experts, quote unquote, I say that obviously, where it's going to be Zach Wilson next or Justin Fields after Trevor Lawrence. I look at a guy like Vince Young, who obviously had the very promising college career. His rookie year in Tennessee, absolutely, kind of took the league by storm. And then, with some injuries and obviously had some psychological issues as well, it didn't work out, I'm sure, like anybody wanted for Vince Young. What's the hardest thing to really, grade on a quarterback coming from college to the pros to see, is this guy going to work out or not? Because obviously on film it's one thing, but what's the hardest part to gauge exactly how he's going to do?
I think that's a great question, and it's an ever-moving answer for me. I've gone back and self-scouted some of my evaluations that I've done on players, and Tom Brady was a great example of that, where I didn't have him very high, like a lot of people. Obviously, 32 teams passed him up 5 different times, even the Patriots did, and then they ended up getting selected in the 6th round. So, you get a player like that, and you start to look at his track record. We were talking about Derrick Henry, and you look at Tom Brady's track record going back to high school and the success he had not only as a football player but baseball player, getting drafted in baseball as a catcher. He goes to Michigan, and they continue to try to replace him. I remember Drew Henson, ultra, prospect, went to play Major League Baseball, came back to Michigan, and they wanted him to be the quarterback. Tom Brady kept beating him out, winning ball games. He goes to the NFL. He sits behind a Drew Bledsoe. When Drew got hurt, he gets his opportunity and never looked back. But his track record of success, whether it was at Michigan or high school, is something that I've really started to look at. And, you have to have a whole team to have a winning team, but some of the success can be individual success. So when I'm looking at quarterbacks now, Trevor Lawrence is a great example. If I'm not mistaken, his high school record was 52-2. And you look at his college record, I think he only lost 2 games in college. This guy's had a lot of success in a long period of time if you go back to high school and college. So will he have that success in the NFL? Track record is a great predictor of future success, and I think that's a good opportunity to think that he's going to be a winner on that next level. So when you look at a quarterback like Trevor, I would take him because of the success he's had in the past and obviously the other talent that he brings to the table.
Oh, do we hope so, Blake? Oh, man, do we hope so. Blake Bettingfield from Nashville, Tennessee. He was director of college scouting and in the Tennessee organization for 19 years. Now you can check him out at bettingfieldsports.com. That's Bettingfield with 2 Ds. Let me keep you for just 2 more minutes if we can.
Sure.
How lucky do you have to get in your business? And to that point, I think, listen, you can look at measurables and watch a guy on tape. It's like, oh, that guy's good. But I'm talking from the personality side, whether it's what Tennessee's dealing with and has been with Isaiah Wilson, to what the Jags have done with Justin Blackmon, to a Telvin Smith, and the list goes on long and long. You just don't know some things. Or can you vet, and do teams vet enough about that, or do they just take chances sometimes on people's motivation, drive, upbringing, whatever it might be? I don't know. Those things that don't say 6'3", runs a 4.2, 220 pounds.
You have to take your blinders off at times and not just, like you said, look at those physical attributes and say, ignore the other things, the red flags that continue to pop up. And, we took a player in my time, Pac-Man Jones. We knew exactly what we were getting. I mean, there was no mistake there were going to be issues when he came to Tennessee. No mistake. But the blinders were on because we needed a corner, we needed somebody with some athleticism, and there were people that thought in the building that they could kind of control him or help him out. Those things usually don't happen when you become a pro. It just doesn't. Some people mature, no doubt about it, and I've seen examples of that. But a lot of times those type situations that they had growing up or had in college are going to even be more amplified on the NFL level. And you see those players like that. And sometimes it's players that have kind of, maybe came out with a better personality, a better reputation, and then kind of went the wrong direction when some money got in their pocket, and a lot of people hanging on that didn't need to really be around. So there are things that are created on the NFL level, but a lot of that, if you vet them well enough, if you do a good enough job as scouts, I always say as a scout, half your job is evaluation and the other half is private eye. You've got to go and find everything about this player, how they are in the locker room, how they are in the meeting rooms, but how they are when they go home. How are they when they're off? when they're away from the facility. And I think that's so important. So 50% of your job is evaluation. The other half is being a private eye.
Blake, I love the analogy of sometimes you got to put the blinders on, per se. And I got to ask you this question. Back in 2009, 2010, did you watch any Murray State film, or were the
I can't believe I didn't
blinders
ask
on?
this question.
Or the blinders on the whole time with that?
You know what? I love Murray, Kentucky. I'll say this. You know, I'm a Southern guy. I grew up in Alabama. I've been living in Nashville for a long time. And I love Murray, Kentucky. I always enjoyed that drive. And I tell you what, Murray had a lot of players. And then they had this one big, lanky defensive end that everyone in the NFL had to go see. And I remember going up there and watching him practice multiple times and actually caught a game and really liked him, especially for our team at that time. We were a 4-3 team with defensive ends that were rushers primarily. And, you know, he really fit. And, you know, when he went to Jacksonville, it was kind of, we knew we were going to see him, you know, twice a year. But he was a player that we had on our board and would have taken for sure.
All right. So did you ever visit with the Titans, Austin Lane?
I didn't visit with them, but I mean, I talked to a scout at the combine.
Did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
What would like your scouting notes have said about Austin Lane? Future radio host?
Pretty much.
Few years in the league. Current MMA fighter.
Audible chocolate voice, I think, was the first thing on that note.
You know, I remember I said he was a really nice guy that, you know, would probably do well outside of football. No, I'm not kidding. He was a really good football player, and he had that one trait that we're all looking for. He had a pass rush trait that we always look for, and they're still looking for today. And I remember Austin Lane, and it's funny that when I knew I was coming on with him, but I started to reflect back going to Murray, Kentucky, because I love those days of going to those schools.
Those small school guys tough, though, seriously. Are they tough to scout?
No, I think they're the best. When you go to a school like Murray, you're looking at 1 or 2 players only that are going to be on the NFL level. You know, you go to Florida State or Florida, you're looking at 15, and I enjoy looking at those 1 and 2. I love spending more time with the coaches, and they really give you a lot more personable, down-to-earth type information about their player because they really care. You know, when you go through a factory like Florida State, Alabama, you know, that they're used to that every year. And I love that Murray, Kentucky, or wherever, you know, those small schools. We've taken a number of small school players. Cortland Finnegan came out of Samford and different players. And they really just love when scouts come on campus and evaluate their players.
That's good stuff. Blake Bettingfield. Let's do it again before the draft because I got about 15 more questions. But sorry, we already kept you longer than we promised.
No problem. Anytime. I can talk football all day.
I appreciate it, man. BettingfieldSports.com. Check it out. Blake Bettingfield. Thanks, man. Have a great day.
You bet. You too.
All right. That's pretty cool. That's good stuff. I can't believe I didn't bring that up. I forgot about that.
A lot of nice words about Murray State, man, and I appreciate it. Ashland would never.
I think, by the way, what he was saying, the trait, I don't know if he ever said the one trait. I think he's probably talking about motor.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Because that was probably high on the list of scouts.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, that'd be gold if I could get his notes.
Careful now, Brent. Careful now.
I need somebody's notes. Like that was interesting. He said tall and lanky. Would you have been described as tall and lanky?
Oh yeah. From the reports that were passed down to me, he has to improve on his lower frame.
Really?
Which means I was light in the ass, as they say. Can I say that? I said it. Whatever now.
I like that. That's a good description.
Yeah.
So they basically pick you, though, and they're like, okay, we're going to add some weight to him.
Yes, correct.
Now, obviously, in a different way than Kansas City. Kansas City tried to add too much weight, probably,
correct.
right?
But how crazy was this? Like, I was 200 and I think 68 pounds at the combine.
Really?
So, like,
that much?
Well, that goes to like how much the game has changed. Because nobody would ever think of a 245, 250-pound kid playing defensive end in a 4-3 back then. And now that's like the thing.
Now
you don't
almost like prototypical.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
How about that? That was good stuff with Blake. Interesting.
That was fun.
How about that? It didn't hit me until we're talking about it. He's got Derrick Henry and Chris Johnson, 2,000 yards. And again, I don't want he deserves some credit, but I'm sure it's a whole staff. It's a fascinating thing. And we'll have Blake on again, talk a little bit more about what the Jags might be looking for. They got 11 selections and breaking down the process, but we appreciate him coming out.
That
Check
was awesome.
out BettingfieldSports.com. We'll be back. Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clear and chilly tonight, down to near 40 by morning, but into the mid-70s tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News JAX Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years Just financing with nothing down.
We all know what the most important meal of the day is, and now it's the most awesome. Moe's Southwest Grill St. Augustine is now serving up breakfast burritos and bowls in their drive-thru. The fluffy eggs, shredded cheese, grilled steak and chicken, and salsa if you choose. They're all available in the AM, so you can swing by the Moe's drive-thru on your way to work. No more cold cereal and oatmeal at your desk, just convenient breakfasty goodness. Get ready to be the coolest kid at the office. Welcome to Moe's.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the chief. Chief meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News JAX.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin'JacksHOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
I'm Marcus Roberts, a jazz pianist and a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB prepares students for a lifetime of success, allowing them to do more, be more, and achieve more. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Now that medical marijuana is being used in Florida, you need information. Just log on to the Mary YouTube videocast to learn about medical marijuana use in Florida. We talk to doctors, nurses, pastors, pharmacists, legislators, and law enforcement officials to bring you the most up-to-date information about medical marijuana use in Florida. Subscribe and never miss an update.
Have you seen it? The all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota is open, and they're ready to celebrate with big savings, even on pre-owned. Celebrate savings and hearing the words, "You're approved." That's right. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. Plus, if you want selection, Arlington's got it. With over 400 pre-owned on the lot, what are you waiting for? Celebrate with savings and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
The Players is honored to support the efforts of Beach's Emergency Assistance Ministry in providing neighbors in need with emergency assistance and a path to economic stability. It's 14 days until the Players.
T-Mobile believes access to education is access to opportunity. That's why they've launched Project 10 Million, using the power of their network to help close the digital divide. Having internet connectivity at home has become a fundamental part of learning, and Project 10 Million is committed to help by providing hotspots to millions of K-12 students over 5 years for free. Over 9 million students don't have internet access at home, so by providing hotspots free of charge with 100 gigabytes of high-speed data, T-Mobile is helping ensure that lack of home internet access isn't a barrier to a student's education. From big cities to small towns and places in between, students across the U.S. can benefit from the reach and capacity of their nationwide network with reliable, dependable service. Know a kid in your life who could benefit? Learn more at T-Mobile.com/Project10Million. Student eligibility based on National School Lunch Program. One per household, 100 gigabytes per year, free on our network. Availability limited. Coverage not available in some areas.
We all know what the most important meal of the day is, and now it's the most awesome. Moe's Southwest Grill St. Augustine is now serving up breakfast burritos and bowls in their drive-thru. The fluffy eggs, shredded cheese, grilled steak and chicken, and salsa if you choose. They're all available in the AM, so you can swing by the Moe's drive-thru on your way to work. No more cold cereal and oatmeal at your desk, just convenient, breakfasty goodness. Get ready to be the coolest kid at the office. Welcome to Moe's. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtogetscreened.com.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. In Jags roster news, the team has declined to pick up tight end Tyler Eifert's contract option, which will make him a free agent in the spring. In video game news, when EA releases its college football game, it may have to be without Notre Dame. They've opted out until the game has ironed out some of the compensation issues and the rules that go along with that compensation. And finally, Seattle Mariners president and CEO Kevin Mather resigned Monday after comments he made at a Rotary Club earlier this month. Here's Jeff Passan, ESPN MLB Insider.
It was the stuff about the English language that really stood out from Kevin Mather's speech, and what John Stanton, the owner of the Seattle Mariners, said just did not go along with the organization's tenets. That's why he ended up resigning, and the hope is that this is an incident that can serve as a learning lesson for people around baseball, that this type of behavior simply won't be tolerated.
SportsCenter Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Brent Martineau.
This is an email. Why is WWE Wrestling not being shown on Friday night?
Austin Lane.
Thank you very much. Read it right now. Read it right now. This
I
could be
just
for me.
did. Why is WWE? That's it. I mean, that's
it?
why I thought. I don't know. I mean, Ronan's only 5. I don't know how many sentences he can make.
Yeah,
Smart kid.
Somebody might have proofread it for him.
Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690.
I've never talked about it. I don't talk about it. I don't believe in it. You know, we all need more rest. I mean, this is a fast turnaround from last season, and we all wish we could have more rest. But, you know, I'm here to work, and I'm here to punch my clock in and be available to my teammates. And if I'm hurt or if I'm not feeling well, then we can look at it then. But I have nothing but honest people around me, but I'm also honest with myself as well. And, you know, me having the love for the game, and me being able to be available to my teammates is more important than anything.
I think we know who that one is, Brent.
That is LeBron.
Good call.
Do you empathize at all with the NBA guys when it comes to rest right now? No, I'm serious. No, I'm not trying to criticize. I mean, they're coming off a short season.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a longer season.
Yeah.
So they have a shorter off season.
No.
And it's funny, you know, I thought I would kind of be critical of the NBA guys for talking like this. I do empathize with them. We're asking those guys to be at their best 82 times or whatever the games are, you know. People pay, and if LeBron James isn't good one night, then we rip him.
We do.
Right?
That's true.
So when he's great, we applaud him, but when he's not, he's off and he's airballing from half court or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then I really changed my tune on this because I'm a guy I'm like sleepy at whatever. But the more you talk to people, right, seriously, and a lot of people, I'm late to this party, I understand. Yeah. But like I've had conversations with so many Jags players and people inside the building. The value of sleep for a professional athlete especially, right?
Yep.
The value of sleep for a college kid sleeping 12 hours, I can debate. But the value of sleep for a pro athlete, you know, somebody performing and quite frankly, all of us, but I think is big. And so I guess I empathize a little bit more with recovery, and now that the science and data backs it up. And listen, I understand they're getting paid a lot, but they're getting paid a lot to be scrutinized a lot too. And if you're going to be scrutinized, then you want to be at your best. And if being at your best means rest up, I get where LeBron and some of the NBA guys are coming from. You can't squeeze everything in. You can't alter play. You can't lose the integrity of the sport or the integrity of the athlete just to make sure you get enough gates and enough games on TV at a certain time. I think we already do that to sports anyway because everything caters around TV and how much the dollar is going to be. I think you'll be a little careful of it.
No, you do. And listen, I mean, the NBA has the most empowered athletes in sports, I feel like. And still, the NBA has to make sure that, health is the number one priority. Not ratings, not ticket sales. It's health. So I get what LeBron's saying there. And I respect it, no doubt about it, because this year is different, obviously, right? Anytime you add something that's different to a formula where you're a creature of habit, we're used to doing something a certain time of year, it could throw things out of whack. But at the same time, I also follow hockey, and I follow the NHL. So there you go. Take that for how you want.
Yeah, taxing, I understand.
Yes.
How many times do they play in a week?
I think like 3. Two or 3, yeah.
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 I don't know. Again, I don't know what the amount of rest is. I'm just saying, hey, if LeBron James now listen, LeBron James is also older. So he needs more rest.
For sure.
So I kind of get it.
I think a lot of this also is spawned off LeBron and the players in general being upset with the All-Star game and how that was originally scheduled to be a few days off for them before the second half of the season. They told them, hey, at some point we'll give you a week to take a break. You're essentially in a bubble of your own, and we'll give you a week to just get away from everything, reset, rest for players that need it, and then come back. And then halfway, not even, like a month before, they're like, actually, we're going to throw an all-star game in there.
Okay, so here's the thing, all
and
right?
to answer your question, it's usually 4 times a week teams are playing in the NHL. Yeah.
So, but here's the thing now, okay? If you're going to force them to play this and you're going to do that and you couldn't come to an agreement, whatever. If the players are mad and the NBA is saying we're doing the all-star game, deal with it. Then, and I'm not saying the NBA does complain about this, but just be ready at the tail end of the year for a load management. They hate that phrase.
Yes.
The NBA does.
Oh, yeah.
But
be
ready. Be ready for load management then. Because whether it's the last 10 games of the season for somebody like the Lakers might not even matter. Who we'll see. We'll see how much matters. But you can't complain if the coach thinks it's in the best interest or the player thinks the best interest to get ready for the postseason, which also is, by the way, very long and drawn out. Yeah. That if the best thing to do is rest. So you can't have it both ways if you're the NBA as well.
No, I agree with that for sure.
So we'll see what happens when it comes to load management.
Load management.
This becomes it's so funny the phrases that come to mind.
You and me, never, huh? We're
no load management.
Yeah, we're
you
warriors,
working in the
man.
morning show.
Yeah,
this afternoon you're going to go.
Got you, man.
Fight tonight.
Yeah, man. Ain't no load management going on over here. We talking about.
I mean, it's supposed to be a day off from TV. I got a hat on. Now I got to leave in 2 minutes to go downstairs and do TV on the Tiger Woods story.
Do you get extra? You get like hazard pay for that? Hazard pay. He goes. Right?
Tiger Woods, by the way, non-life-threatening injuries. That phrase has now come out from ESPN.
From ESPN, I think. And listen, I don't want to misquote, but I believe it was supposed non-life-threatening.
Okay,
injuries.
because again, I think what was pretty significant about the statement from Steinberg, the agent for Tiger Woods, is that he said multiple leg injuries in this crash, but he did not say non-life-threatening. And that, I think when you're talking about leg injuries, I don't envision life-threatening injuries, so maybe he didn't have to say it. But if you look at the vehicle and you look at, that accident, that looked really bad. So I think we would be getting more from the life-threatening part. So right now, it's not even in my mind that it's a life-threatening thing because, again, they mentioned multiple leg injuries and in surgery. Maybe just like you said at the top of the show, if you're going to go right into surgery, you can't rule out anything. So that's why maybe the statement doesn't say that.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, though. I'm trying to find the statement now, and I don't know if they deleted it, but I can't find that exact statement. So,
well,
I don't know what that
maybe
means.
not then. So again,
I don't
think we're going to get a lot of information on the Tiger Woods front.
Yeah.
After that statement, again, Tiger Woods' agent, Mark Steinberg, Tiger Woods was in a single car accident this morning in California. He suffered multiple leg injuries. He's currently in surgery. We thank you for your privacy and support.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it said. So hopefully it's non-life-threatening, but there was not that phrase, and usually that phrase exists.
Mm-hmm.
So we continue to wait. Meanwhile, there's reaction coming in on the Tiger Woods front from everywhere, from the Masters. The Masters just tweeted moments ago, Tiger Woods, part of the Augusta National family. The news of the accident is upsetting to all of us. We pray for him, for his full recovery, for his family during this difficult time. The Players Championship, the PGA Tour, has also released a statement. We've been made aware of Tiger Woods' car accident today. We are awaiting further information when he comes out of surgery. On behalf of the PGA Tour and our players, Tiger is in our prayers. We'll have our full support as he recovers. I saw Justin Thomas reaction as well, and he's really had thoughts with the kids. So there's a lot of reaction coming on the Tiger Woods front.
So the Score is reporting that there's some good news on the Tiger Woods condition, and they shared a quote from Lieutenant Michael White of the L.A. County Sheriff's Department saying that Tiger Woods' injuries are non-life-threatening.
Okay, so that's from the police.
That's from the L.A. County Sheriff's
Office.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
So at least somebody has it, and that's from an official.
That's from the Score. It's the check mark and everything. I don't know how much we get into the Score here, but
well, it's probably from a lot of other places, and they just picked it up.
Yep.
But here's the thing about Tiger Woods. Obviously, it's such a big story right now. In fact, I'm going to go run down TV on CBS 47 and Fox 30 and do something. We'll have team coverage on it on TV too. But we'll see how this shakes out. And I just don't want to jump ahead to what does this mean for golf, for Tiger. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
that's
where we
it's
go,
a whole bunch
Brent.
of speculation. Yeah, my mind goes there. I'm just telling you, being honest. My mind goes there. Okay, what does this mean? Sure. Let's first of all, is he okay?
Yes.
Right? Is he come out of surgery and is okay? All of those things. Does he? Obviously the family and the kids come to mind, right? Because our images now of Tiger, the most recent one, are with his son Charlie and with his kids at Augusta celebrating. That's now ingrained in us. Mm-hmm. But I'd be lying if I then said, okay, what does this mean for golf? We love Tiger Woods, the golfer. Tiger Woods, we've had debates over all the demons he's had and just some of the issues that's plagued him for a decade and plus. People have been critical of even the way he was raised. All these documentaries are out now, all of these things. But we all know this. We love watching Tiger Woods play golf.
Yep.
And selfishly, we wonder when, is that going to happen again? Well, I just hesitate to have the conversation because we know he's in surgery and has multiple leg injuries. I don't know how to frame that around, I think he'll be back playing golf in 6 months. I don't. Yeah. We know this. He's not playing golf at the Players Championship, which he might not have anyway because of the back injury, and he's not playing golf at this year's Masters, and he might not have been anyway because of the back injury, but now this looks more like a long-term thing with no golf. And I think we will have questions maybe by the end of the week even, assuming there's nothing more serious than whatever already is serious, if he ever does golf again. Yeah. I think those conversations will come. I just am a bit hesitant to do it right now. We'll be back. Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690. A little football at 5 coming up on the way.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
PDQ is bringing the heat with a new spicy chicken sandwich topped with our new signature PDQ sauce. Theirs might be good, but ours is just made better. Also try PDQ's new spicy nuggets for a limited time only at PDQ.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus card fees with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club, Fleming Island Golf Club, and 6 others. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. What are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 Corolla LE or a new 2021 Camry LE. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $249 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News JAX.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ugh, nothing's worse than starting trouble. We can help you out. We can start with a free battery test. That way we'll know if your battery is causing the issue. It could be your starter or your alternator. You don't want to waste money on the wrong fix. And if you do need a new battery, we've got you covered with a wide selection of replacement batteries. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
I'm Christine Lisi, developing story. Tiger Woods is currently undergoing surgery after suffering multiple leg injuries in a single-car rollover crash this morning near Los Angeles, according to his agent Mark Steinberg. Police told ESPN the injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Woods was extracted from the vehicle. The vehicle sustained major damage. NFL tag season has begun. Today's the first day teams can put the franchise or transition tag on their respective free agents. Much of the talk will be about Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. No matter what happens, Dak will come out on top, believes ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He is going to get a long-term deal, whether it is in Dallas or somewhere else. And I think he'd be very happy to do that in Dallas. This is not a fractured relationship aside from the contract itself. So in that regard, Dak Prescott has done everything right as a man and as a player to set himself up for the next chapter in his career, wherever that is.
Jeff Darlington on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Teams have until March 9th to use the tag. NBA in a mutual decision today, the Rockets released center DeMarcus Cousins.
We're back on Wednesday, and the Rams have gone all in to win the Super Bowl title. But we'll tell you how long the Rams have in this current championship window on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
The thing for me, like, barring football, like, cool, I am who I am. But, bro, I'm a genuine dude, bro. And a lot of people can't say that. They want to say it, but a lot of people don't mean that. Like, if I with you, bro, I with you. And this ain't no, like, let me put this lingo, like, all the cameras and bro. If I with you, bro, I with you. A lot of people get a lot of this twisted, like, the outfits and like, bro, I'm going to say it for the 4th time. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, bro. Don't get this twisted. But at the same time, you know, I just do it how you got to stay funky.
That's Cam Newton. I think that was on the I Am Athlete podcast, right?
Yes.
Yep, featuring, I know Brandon Marshall's on there, Ocho Cinco's on there. I think Fred Taylor has been on there in the past as well. Listen, I mean, it's basically unscripted and unfiltered, and it kind of gives you a peek behind the curtain a little bit. So it's definitely a fascinating listen. I recommend anybody that's in that type of thing, check that one out or check the previous ones out. It's a pretty cool podcast, and it's basically athletes talking about athletes. You know, I mean, and that's where you get the most authentic, I feel like, beliefs and just interview type format. So pretty cool. Welcome back here, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Brent Martineau will be back here momentarily. He had to go cut some news stuff because obviously the story of the day right now, as we've been reporting, and as you can go anywhere on social media or on ESPN, is that Tiger Woods was in a pretty bad car accident. And thankfully, it came out a little while ago. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is reporting that it's non-life-threatening injuries, which is obviously a positive. Tiger Woods is having knee surgery right now as we speak. The extent of that is still unknown. But obviously, and we've talked about it before, anytime you get knee surgery right after an injury, it's probably not going to be a good look. So obviously not going to be playing in the Players, not going to be playing at the Masters this year, and it's going to be, I guess, to be determined when he can come back, if he does indeed come back and play golf again. And, it's kind of I sit here and, I saw, I'm coming to the studio and I see the Tiger Woods news, and obviously the first thing you think about is, oh, my God, I hope he's okay, which obviously he is. So, thankfully for that, because you look at the pictures and it's like let's be honest, people have been a lot more injured, let's just say, with a lot less in terms of the damage and the car accident, what it looked like. But I remember I'm coming to the studio and I know he's okay and that's great. But a part of me, feels bad, and maybe this is my own selfish, sports-natured self, but a part of me feels bad because there's just a part of me that feels like he may never, I don't know. I don't know what kind of injury this is, but let's just say, for lack of a better word, worst case scenario, that he doesn't get to play golf again, at least at the PGA Tour level, obviously, at the highest of levels. And I was trying to think why that bummed me out so much, because of everything that he's accomplished. He won the Masters a couple years ago. Listen, Tiger Woods really has nothing left to prove. He's overcome the adversity. He's overcome doubters, and he's shined on the biggest stage. So from where I sit as a very, very casual golf fan, he's got nothing to prove. But the reason why there's a little pit in my stomach if he doesn't ever come back and play again, it's because this is not how sports are supposed to go. Now, Austin, what do you mean by that? Well, let me explain. I feel like anytime you get to play over a decade in your career of sports, whether it's football, baseball, hockey, golf, basketball, name your sport. Anytime you play over a decade, and anytime that you're considered, quote unquote, the GOAT or one of the best to ever do it, that comes with prestige. And that prestige being that you can essentially go out on your own terms then. Right? When we talk about Tom Brady being the GOAT, yes, he's the GOAT. Look at how many championships he's won. Look at the numbers. But one of the greatest benefits right now of Tom Brady is, guess what? He can play as long as he wants to play. And then when he thinks it's time to go, he's going to go. There's so many guys in the NFL right now that are sitting in locker rooms, and guess what? They're going to be told that they can't play the game anymore, and it's not going to be on their own terms. So that's what you earn. And it's not given, it's earned. When you're one of the top athletes at your sport, you get to say when it's time to hang it up. You get to walk away. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes people, they overstay their welcome. We see this with fighters all the time. We see this with athletes sometimes too. And sometimes it doesn't end well, but it always ends on their terms, right? Tiger Woods, if let's just say, once again, worst case scenario, he wasn't able to play at the highest level again. Well, that's because of a car accident. That's Tiger Woods not ending it on his own terms. And regardless of what you think about Tiger Woods, the individual, the guy that's been through the trials and tribulations, the guy that was in the tabloids, the guy that, he had a pain pill problem, a guy that got arrested a couple of times and all this stuff and the mug shots, yada, yada, yada. And now we see Tiger the father, a Tiger that's, showing his son the sweet swing, if you will. Regardless of what you think about Tiger, you can't deny the fact that anybody, and listen, go ahead and take sports out of this. Go ahead and apply it to any job that you can think of. Anytime you have somebody that is the top of their job, the top of what they do, and you can unequivocally say that they're the top of their job, then that person, in my opinion, has earned the right to go out on their own terms. Hands down, enough said, not up for debate. And I just hope, that little pit in my stomach, I just hope that Woods comes back from this, however long it's going to take, the rehab and all this stuff, and he gets to play at the highest level again, and he gets to do what he's earned. He gets to show off the prestige that he's accumulated over the years and years and years of his service to the golf game, and he gets to go on his own terms. Hopefully that's the way it is, but you know what they say about life sometimes. Life's not always fair. We were talking NBA a little bit before we went to break here, Kuz, and you know, since I got you here, Justin Kuz, Driving Dish Podcast, you know, you kind of got the finger on the pulse of what's happening in the NBA, and listen, you know, yesterday it came to a head a little bit. Zion Williamson, LaMelo Ball. I mean, you know what, Kuz, like, we'll see, okay? But I'm not going to lie. I have never checked Charlotte Hornets box score so much in my entire life than I did last night, because I'm just waiting, and it's bad of me to do this, but I'm just waiting for the night that Ball comes in and puts up like 2 points so I can just put it in your face. And I'll be like, oh, so this is your dude right here.
He's not my dude. That's the problem.
I know. Listen, you aren't wrong, and I'm upset because you aren't wrong. I mean, everyone's talking about him. He's the Rookie of the Year.
Right. It's more, if he were a second-year player like Zion, it probably wouldn't be talked about as much because he's playing decent, but it's in comparison to all the other rookies, he's far exceeding that.
Well, and I think like from an NBA fan's perspective that grew up, you know, following, you know, big baller brand, if you will, and, you know, the chaos that was the Ball family. I mean, you had LaMelo, who was the youngest one, who kind of, let's be honest, seemed like a little bit of a brat. Right? Like, I mean, when he was coming up and everything, and essentially, you know, his dad sends him to play in a different league. He doesn't go to college. So, like, you feel like, I don't want to say he was spoon-fed, because that's not the case, man. Like, the guy's earned his stripes. He was drafted where he was for a reason. But, like, I get the sense that some people want to see him fail. And the fact that he's not failing, the fact that he's actually flourishing right now in the NBA, like, that's a story. That's a headline for sure.
Yeah.
But another headline I want to get to real quick is it still the white unicorn? Is it the unicorn, great unicorn, white unicorn? What are they calling Kristaps these days?
Oh, I think they just call him the unicorn.
The unicorn, okay.
I think so.
Maybe, okay, so there's no reason to bring color into it?
no reason to bring color into it. I'm pretty sure it's just the unicorn. I don't remember it being anything else.
Okay, well, I'm always reminded of my former teammate Martellus Bennett, tight end for the Chicago Bears. He used to go by the black unicorn, so maybe I got that mixed up a little bit. I got the unicorns mixed up. But okay, so we're talking about the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. And Kuz, it seems like a couple years ago where the Knicks trade him away. Right, and I think the general consensus was, okay, he's a little injury prone, but Dallas is getting a great player. And when Kristaps showed some of his, you know, the signs of life and that he's actually an all-star and he's a good player, like you had him and Luka, and once again, injuries happened, everything during the bubble. But my sense was this year, it was going to be Porzingis, Doncic, and they were going to be unstoppable. Like the Mavericks were going to be the talk of the West. And now I'm seeing these reports coming out from, you know, I mean, everywhere, essentially. Bleacher Report, just to name one here I'm reading, is that the Dallas Mavericks are looking at shopping. You know, he's 25 years old, shopping Porzingis right now, you know, maybe as some trade bait. And my question to you is, what happened from all the hype that I had last year where it's going to be like, all right, once, you know, Luka and Kristaps get together and they're 100%, the Mavericks are going to be unstoppable. What happened from that moment until now where they're trying to trade him away?
That's what I've been trying to figure out, too, because Porzingis, at least, you know, he's only played 17 games, so I wonder if there's an injury factor to it. I mean, last year, obviously, there was an injury, and even with the Knicks, there were some injuries. So I wonder if they just feel like they're not willing to, you know, wait and see and make sure he's healthy or able to go, or they feel like they can find, you know, that kind of production somewhere else. Maybe there is an Andre Drummond type situation where you bring him in and just to have a big man who can get you a triple-double.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, I mean, he's averaging, you know, career high in points, total rebounds, and his percentages are all higher than his career. So you would think they wouldn't want to move on from him, but I guess from their aspect is they feel like moving him, they might be able to get some depth and maybe a player that can do similar things without an injury history.
And you know, from his skill set standpoint, right? Like he's a unicorn for a reason, right? Because the guy's like over 7 feet tall, but he plays on the outside, right? Like he'd rather shoot a 3-pointer than really post up. Like, and do you think from a skill set and from a schematic standpoint, like when you have Luka who likes to drive the lane, facilitate, but you have your 7-footer on the outside and 3-point line. I don't want to be this guy that says, all right, you know, like let's go back to the old days of like getting the post, but like, does that kind of hurt Luka's game a little bit?
I would almost argue that I think it helps because if Porzingis is out on the 3-point line somewhere, you'd imagine the big man on the defensive side is also out there guarding him because he can make it. I mean, what was it against the Pelicans? He was 8 for 13 from 3. So they have to step out, and then in theory that opens up the lane for Luka to drive a little bit more and not have to worry about the biggest guy on the court potentially being right there waiting for him.
So I mean, listen, like you'd call him a center. Right, but obviously he's more of a Kevin Durant, plays on the perimeter.
Power forward.
Yeah. So, like, in your opinion, Kuz, I guess let's talk about the market real quick. Is the market there for a guy with that skill set, or would you rather have a guy like, let's be honest, like Bam? I mean, Bam kind of plays a little more on the inside, but he's a rebound monster, he's a defensive monster, and he can get points when need be. Like, is the market still there for that old school kind of throwback, do I dare call it, where a guy can play on the inside out that's big bodied, or would you rather see a guy now like Kristaps on the outside playing in?
There's definitely a lot less of the old school.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, you got Embiid, Jokic, Porzingis, Anthony Davis.
Would you call Zion a little bit of the old school? I mean,
yeah,
just
I guess
from the
so.
body
But also even them, he's working on an outside shot. Even Andre Drummond, I mean, Andre Drummond just bringing his field goal percentage up to 50% is like insane. So even the guys who do it or the old school style of that are changing to kind of adjust. But like you said, with the Heat, I think the Heat would be somebody that would be interested in potentially a Porzingis, add another scoring threat down low and help. Maybe even you'd have to work out the money, but with Anthony Davis being out, maybe a Porzingis, you can find a way to bring him in without losing depth, then you don't have to rush Anthony Davis back. So there are teams that would be interested, but it's going to be the same teams that are interested in potentially Blake Griffin if there's a buyout, or you can make the money work, or Andre Drummond as well. So all the teams are going to essentially have their options and at different price points. So it's which one are you willing to go with? Again, with Porzingis, it comes back to the injury history. I mean, he was out Monday, and with a back injury. So you wonder when, what's going on there when he comes back, and how worried you are about the injury history.
Brent, I have one more NBA question, by the way. That tie looks fantastic on you.
Thank you very much.
I like to think, seriously. Can I ask one more NBA question?
Sure.
All right, cool. Kuz. Oh, sorry. He's got to get that's going on. So, Houston releases Boogie Cousins, free agent. Obviously, the Boogie of old, game changer, dynamic center. Kind of like a throwback a little bit, but not as afraid to shoot a three-pointer here or there. Do you think there's a market for Boogie Cousins? Do you think that a playoff contending team is a Boogie Cousins away, let's just say, from going to the finals? Or with the injury history of DeMarcus Cousins, obviously, is that more of just kind of, a pipe dream?
No, I think people will give him a shot. It's the same thing with Blake Griffin. If you can add a player like that, like I always talk about Blake Griffin, if there is a buyout, right, then he could go to the Lakers and fill that void for the time being that Anthony Davis is out. And then when Anthony Davis comes back, Blake Griffin's only playing, 10 minutes off the bench or something like that, and providing in that way where you're not too worried about the injury risk with him too. So I think there will be teams that are interested in DeMarcus Cousins. The Knicks have been tied to Andre Drummond, but if they're worried about him potentially not staying, like if it's like a rental thing and they don't want to trade too much to bring in Andre Drummond, you could do something with Boogie where you bring him in and pair him with Randall, who they have a history with the Pelicans.
Sure.
So, there's definitely people that are going to give him a shot.
Cool. You guys get your fix.
We got our fix. We got our beaks wet.
I love that. That's a good question. Hey, can I ask one more NBA question?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I usually it'd be Kuz that has to ask that.
Well, hey. I'm going to be honest. Regardless of what you said, I was going to ask it anyways.
I know.
I was just trying to be respectful.
Can't do it.
I was trying to be respectful,
That was funny. Hey, speaking, you guys were talking. We had talked to LeBron. I put this in a text to you guys today. I've been. I don't know why, really. I've just been reading up a little bit more. Yeah, I probably have a little bit more time right now after Daytona and the Super Bowl and all that.
Yeah.
And I also was listening to Elon Musk on Rogan's podcast.
Oh,
I don't know if you caught that episode.
Yeah, I did. What'd you think?
Well, I'm not done.
Okay.
But it's wild, okay? First of all, it's pretty wild.
Guy's got big ambitions.
Well, it's wild because he's so bright, you can tell. Mm-hmm. You ever meet some people that are so smart that they have a hard time talking to you?
No.
Because it's not to say you're dumb. It's just that it's really hard to get on their level. And he it's almost like he understands that. And so he's trying to, like layman's terms, some of these wild ideas that include a lot of math and science and stuff that, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But he does a really good job of kind of explaining it and giving analogies.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't know how anybody feels about Elon Musk. It's just fascinating. Like he makes you think. Let's just say that. He's one of those folks that really make you think. I'm not saying you have to believe it. I'm sure there are some cult followings of Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
And cult opponents of Elon Musk, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about it. I don't pay attention to that much about it. But he does make you think.
Well, and it just seems like, and like I don't want to call him like a robot per se, but you get the sense like with Mark Zuckerberg too, they operate like at a different wavelength.
Yeah.
Like something that we just can't really comprehend.
Well, because I think a lot of people don't comprehend it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't comprehend like the impact of what they're doing and the power of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I almost like this is how I phrased it to you guys. I feel like if Elon Musk says, "Hey, go invest in Bitcoin," Bitcoin goes up.
Yes.
If Elon Musk says whatever about whatever, something happens. Like I feel like he does have a lot of power. Like, I feel like he's swaying, like, and then you could just argue, forget about the power part, but you can argue, again, what you believe in or not, whether he's changing kind of the world, like the way we think about it and the way it will be. Like, he is at the forefront of it. I'm sure he's not the only one, but he's at the forefront of it.
You're absolutely right.
And so, again, there's some things, how will we be flying around in jets and vehicles like in the next 3 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. Will it be 300 years, 3,000 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just the bottom line is that's what that guy does to me. I don't think I'm misrepresenting is that he makes you think and he is at the forefront of trying to change the world, good, bad, or whether it happens, he's at least trying.
See, here's what I get because I watched the last one with Joe Rogan, but I watched an earlier one probably from a couple years prior with Joe Rogan. It's really the only time he's ever really done like a full-length interview like this. So it's fascinating
Yeah, that
stuff.
was wild, yeah. And they talk everything.
But I get the sense it's like this. And I mean this with all due respect to Elon Musk because I love what the guy is all about. I love that the fact that he kind of lets his freak flag fly, if you will. But with Elon, like I get the sense, like I said, he operates at a different wavelength. But he's got like that childlike nature where he's so successful. And he's so powerful where it's like, what do I do now? Like, I mean, what can you fulfill like your life to be? Like, yeah, he made Tesla. Cool. Now you have electronic cars everywhere because of Elon Musk. And he's going to build the underground, tunnel system for cars in California. So all of a sudden there's no traffic now in California. Cool. You're doing that. Okay. You want to go to Mars, but you get the sense like there's always going to be something new.
Yeah.
Because like it's almost like he's bored.
Well, there's stuff that I don't know how he can be bored. He's got all this stuff going on.
Yeah, but it's almost like,
I agree with that.
I mean, you spend your entire life, like, dude, you changed the game of electric cars. But like, that's not good enough. Now you're going to Mars.
Okay, so my question really isn't about Elon Musk. Okay. My question is there anybody in sports that is kind of doing something? Is there a person in sports that's changing sports?
Yeah.
Like, does that person exist? Has it existed?
Could it?
Like, I don't know. Like, LeBron James is he's a star athlete, combines social, what he does in his hometown of I mean, he's changed a lot. I don't know if he changed sports. Like, he didn't create a 5-point play in basketball. You know?
But you're not saying like Steph, where he makes the three so much that there were people actually talking about moving the three back for a little bit.
That's a good example of, I think we've seen players help change, right? The Bullet Bob Hayes, by the way, from Jacksonville, like created the zone defense essentially in the NFL. Like, I think players have morphed the rules and other things, but I'm talking sports, man, like the way we know it. I don't really feel like sports the way we know it is still kind of the way we know it.
Yeah.
There's still football, basketball, baseball. There's golf. There's NASCAR. There's hockey. There are new sports.
Yeah.
But you see, it just does. I don't feel like there is somebody, and will there be somebody that comes along?
Well, let me ask you this. I want to think about this for the next break here. The whole phrase operating on different wavelengths. Like, I think of Dennis Rodman, kind of marched the beat of his own drum a little bit, a la Elon Musk. Any other athletes out there that are kind of like they're high caliber athletes, but they operate at their own wavelength?
Yeah, I think there are. I think there are better examples of that than probably the one I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because, like, to your point, Kuz, listen, Tiger Woods, who obviously is a big story today, changed golf.
Yes.
Like, he absolutely changed golf globally, but he didn't change sports.
Sure.
I don't think.
Sure.
More of it on ESPN 690 when we come back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Chilly one tonight under clear skies, dropping into the upper 30s to lower 40s, but mostly sunny and nice tomorrow. Your Wednesday afternoon high will be close to 75. With the First Alert forecast, I'm Action News JAX Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, zero-interest financing with nothing down.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Hey, boss, check this out. You're never home alone and you're never away from home with Safe Touch.
What now? Never home alone. Now that one I get. It's because of the two-way communicator.
Yep. Any emergency and you're talking with the operator in seconds.
Right. Never home alone. Yeah, but what about this never away from home thing?
See, with Safe Touch's smart home automation, you can control your house from anywhere.
What, is it that smartphone thingy again?
Yeah, with the Safe Touch app, you can check your camera feeds, turn on the lights, drop the AC down, lock the doors. Boss, it's like you're there.
Never away from home. Never home alone, never away from home. This changes nothing. I still hate Safe Touch, and we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. I need an aspirin.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. It is the home of the Action Sports JAX Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Are you tired of pounding nails from one job to the next? Are you looking for a stable career? American Window Products is currently seeking full-time window installers and apprentices. American Window Products has served Jacksonville and the surrounding areas for 39 years and has openings for full-time window installers and apprentices. The positions include competitive pay and benefits. Full-time window installers and apprentices are needed now. Apply in person at American Window Products or by sending an email to info@AmericanWindowProducts.com.
This is Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
The freaking Jacksonville Jaguars are 14-12 all time against one of the best organizations, quite frankly, in all of sports.
Austin Lane.
Get him, Brent. Get him, Brent.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Some players, it's going to take some time for them to develop, and you have to be patient. Unfortunately, coaches don't have a lot of time to be patient. They have to win or else they get fired. Every year, there's 6 or 7 new head coaches in the NFL because they don't produce. And a lot of that has to do with the offensive play, the quarterback play, or what have you. To weather the storm with a young quarterback, and hopefully he gets better and better and better as he gets older and more mature, sometimes coaches don't have that time, unfortunately. So every day in practice, you have to evaluate the kid. Every day in meetings, you see what he does on game day. Is he improving? Is he a guy you think you can rally your team around and draft around that player to make him a great player? Or do you have to hit the reset button and go a different direction? And that is the biggest decision franchises have to make year in and year out.
Oh, this is a tricky one. It's not Frank Caliendo, I don't think.
But no, when did Jay Gruden do an interview? Or was that John?
I think that was Jay.
That was Jay.
That was Jay.
When was Jay Gruden talking?
He was on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin this morning.
He was on this morning.
Yep.
Good catch right there, Kuz.
Nicely
So
done.
is he talking about Trevor?
That part I didn't know. He was pretty vague about it.
It's pretty young quarterback talk, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what. I didn't think Jay Gruden did a poor job here.
I want a couple more screen passes, going to be honest.
Yeah. I don't think he did an unbelievable job. But I don't think he did a poor job.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely take him over John DeFilippo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is they played this whatever dumb game with the quarterback spot for 6 weeks. So, it all worked out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole Minshew thing was ridiculous and self-created in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
And, if you're going to miss him for a couple games because of injury, fine. But after that, it was a charade. And so I think you hampered what you could have pulled off. Now, earlier in the year, I thought he was very good. Did they get tape on him and then figure him out? I just thought even with, Glennon in there and even with Luton in there, I think he had good game plans for guys that just weren't very good. But he did a pretty nice job, and he's also the guy that engineered 1,400 yards for his running back from scrimmage that nobody had ever heard of before this year. So,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, again, I'm not trying to say he belongs in the Hall of Fame after this year with the Jags. They still struggled on offense probably more than not. I just thought overall, I did not put a lot of the blame on Gruden. I thought overall he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's enough blame to go around this past year, and especially when we talk about playing complementary football. I mean, he was getting no help from the defense at all. So, yeah, I don't think that a large percentage of the blame should be pinned on Jay Gruden in that offense.
Hey, we were talking about guys who changed sports.
Yeah.
Or we're really saying Elon Musk, okay? Who's going to be – is there anybody that will do that to sports? Will just be like this pioneer potentially.
Kyler Murray.
And at the same time would raise eyebrows so much because, again, there's a lot of conflict involved in Elon Musk and what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to lead that way and be willing to deflect and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Is there somebody doing that? Somebody had an interesting response. Billy Beane. Did he change the game? Did he change sports with analytics? Bill James has been doing analytics since the late 1970s. But the acceptance of Billy Beane, the Moneyball kind of idea.
It's a good movie. I liked it.
But it changed it. Maybe it did. Maybe that's a great example. Maybe that's one of the best examples over the last 20 years. That movie, that concept, the concept of analytics and dollars and all that stuff and the way you use them, I think it kind of has impacted all of sports. And I don't know if Billy Beane deserves the most credit, but I get what you're saying there on Twitter. Let's see who said it. Sorry. Trevor Lawrence Haver said it.
Yeah.
That's because that Stat Boy's the one that said it. I didn't know you changed that to your
Wait, that's Stat Boy?
That's Stat Boy.
You really just going to out him like that?
Well, it says it on his handle.
Oh, it's a Stat Boy?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that. Interesting.
Yeah.
So this has been the mythological Stat Boy we've been hearing about so much.
I don't know if this
the mystery's been solved.
I don't know if this is the mysterious one. I'm just saying that's what it says on his handle. That Stat Boy.
Kind of cheapens it a little bit now. I know
It
who he
says
is.
that Stat Boy. I didn't say it was our Stat Boy.
Oh, okay.
You took that and ran.
Whoa. Hey. When we have a guy on the show named Stat Boy and his Twitter handle's Stat Boy, yeah, I'm going to try and put 2 and 2 together. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, maybe that's him.
Maybe it is.
I didn't even know Stat Boy was on Twitter.
Hey, go and give me a wink if it's him. Wow. Stone-faced. Stone-faced. Eyes are watering, ladies and gentlemen. Eyes are watering right now.
I think that's a good call.
That's a good example.
And again, I don't know if Billy Beane. I know Billy Beane gets a lot of the credit. There's probably more to it than that, but I think that is a really good example of changing sports. And so, I don't know if he's doing. You got to be so outrageous, right? And outrageous isn't welcomed in sports. I mean, you think you do something so outrageous in the NFL
until it works, though, then it's welcome.
I know, until it makes money. Usually, if you do something so outrageous in the NFL, well, those 32 owners are going to say, "Not here."
Yeah.
Right. And even I would say Oakland, the way they did things at first. And Billy Beane did things probably wasn't received well at first, but then the results kept coming, and then somebody else jumped on board, and then somebody else jumped on board. And now you do look at analytics and the way it is. Like, would analytics be as popular in sports today here in 2021 without Billy Beane? And I think if you ask it that way, I would say probably not.
No, because the whole reason why it became popular is the success of the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the proof was in the pudding. It's one thing if you want to go, hey, we're doing analytics, and then you win 20 games in a baseball year. Like, oh, well, how did that work out for you?
Yeah.
But they had success, right? What did they win, 22 games in a row? 21? 23? Right. I mean, it was a lot. It was a record, right?
That's a good one.
So that's a fantastic one. I'm trying to think back, I don't know, 2 decades, let's call it, maybe 3 decades. The game of football. Like, what's been like the biggest game changer? Is it the dual threat quarterback?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you'd say like Wildcat, but that was kind of a flash in the pan.
That's a fad. That's more fad.
So probably like the running quarterback? So like, would Mike Vick be?
Yeah, I
mean, I know you had like Randall Cunningham. And
the thing about Mike Vick is Mike Vick felt like he was like an outlier, and you're not going to match that.
Sure.
I wonder if RG3 and the concepts of RG3 helped lead the way for everybody else to say, we can go play this style of offense.
But it didn't work, though.
Well, it didn't.
We got to the playoffs,
but that's like 2013. He had his I think it was 13, right?
Something like that.
Well, he has his really good year. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, Billy Beane, if we're going to give him that credit, didn't happen until 15 years later that everybody's doing it.
True.
So one of those kind of players, Vic, and RG3, did they change the way NFL people look at it? I think you could maybe make the case, be an interesting 30 for 30. I don't know if that's the actual domino that fell, or is it more so, let's see, somebody who's been willing to go there. I mean, I don't want to get. Is it really more Lamar Jackson, right? Is it the Ravens who are willing to take the challenge of Lamar Jackson, his skill set, the college game skill set, and say, we're doing it. We're doing it in the NFL. Do we find out that in really 2017, 18, the willingness of the Baltimore Ravens organization to do that then parlayed into this player and that player and Kyler Murray in Arizona and all the rest, I don't know. But that's a good thought, the dual threat guy.
What about, and this is going to be obviously a little older, what about the West Coast offense?
Well, that'd be good. But see, that's more, I don't know. I don't think that fits. I don't even really think the dual threat guy fits because I don't think everybody's going to run the dual threat offense. That's my point. I don't think the drop back passer's going extinct.
Okay.
So, like,
I mean, they're few and far between now, Brent.
I get it. And again, if you're just jumping in, we're kind of putting this in the context of a guy like Elon Musk. If we wake up in 25 years and everybody's driving an electric car, well, Elon Musk will be credited with that. If we wake up in another 25 years and there's a colonization on Mars, Elon Musk's going to be associated with that conversation. I think we're saying what sports-wise is there anybody like that out there that's trying to pioneer and change and kind of think, hey, this is what sports will look like in 25 years. I really do think the Billy Beane one is interesting because if we credit Billy Beane and whoever was involved in that with analytics is now everywhere. I mean, it really is. In the last 20 years, it's everywhere. Like, there's not a team that doesn't use it. To how much degree they use it, well, that's debatable. But college teams use it. Heck, high schools would use it if you could. Heck, we use it with Ty and Kaylee with radar guns and, exit velocity machines.
Yeah.
I mean, we're using it. Like, I didn't use that 20 years ago when I was playing. Nobody did. So I think that's a fascinating one. I think it really works in this context. I also would say, and I don't know if we're going to give credit to a pioneer, so to speak. I think the one thing that really will look back on that's changed sports, if we go to 25 years and 20 years down the road, is the willingness and acceptance of gambling. Now in every sport. Always was in soccer. NFL was built on it, but it was it's kind of built on fantasy football and gambling, right? Well, now it's like, hey, Players Championship, we're showing every shot, and you can bet on every shot, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, who used to say that a few years ago? Nobody. They weren't willing to. Now we have a team in Las Vegas in the NFL. They weren't willing to. It was, taboo, don't do that, right? So we look at 20. I don't know who will get credit for that. But that's kind of the pioneering type of change, this just blanket change in sports. And I still don't know if these examples are really fitting the context because, to be honest with you, what Elon Musk is doing is so far out there.
Yes.
Again, whether you agree or not, this isn't like a celebration of Elon Musk. I'm just trying to make a comparative nature to sports.
Would you say, and it's not, I mean, to me, it's different because of the philosophy. Phil Jackson with the Chicago Bulls. His coaching style.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's
like
good.
doing yoga, like doing like the incense and all that
Zen
stuff. Like, that was different.
Yeah, he made it cool, but he didn't make it widespread.
True.
But
do you get the sense that if every team knew that Phil Jackson was doing, like at the time, back in the in the 90s, if every team knew that Phil Jackson was lighting incense and the sage and doing the meditation and the yoga, do you think if more teams knew about that, they would have did it?
Yeah,
because look at the success that they had.
I think, and I think more teams do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because
it's
of
niche
Phil Jackson or because trainers adopted it. You know what I mean? Science proved that it was good to do yoga, breathing exercises, all those things.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean it's a good one. Everybody does it though. Like every sport.
Yeah.
Like it used to be. Remember like the age-old thing where it was like Herschel Walker or all these great running backs like took ballet?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yep.
Like it was like they took ballet.
I know, right?
What do you mean they took ballet, right? Well, now yoga's kind of that. It's like you do hot yoga?
Exactly.
And now everybody's like, yes, I do.
Of course.
And it's awesome.
Well, it's not taboo. Like, I mean, I'll be honest. Even like when I was in the NFL, when yoga became kind of a big thing, I was still like, I can say I do yoga. Like, that's not something to brag about, right? I have a reputation, man. You know what I'm saying? But like, just think, like back in the 90s, Phil Jackson was doing that before it was even cool or considered or thought about.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if these are good comparisons, but they're
hard
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you said somebody real quick, thinking about outside the wavelength. You mentioned like Rodman. You take a guy in like baseball. If you read up on Zach Greinke, he's crazy, wild, just doesn't. He's got a lot of that in him, right?
Sure. But then he's super awkward. Like I don't want to say awkward because I think like he's actually like publicly shy. Like he doesn't like do interviews. Yeah. But like he's very calm,
definitely
cool,
outside
collected.
the box and that kind of. We've had guys in baseball. I think like all relievers are kind of that way.
Yeah.
Goalies are that way in hockey, aren't they?
And it's soccer players as well. And I'm not sure how much you follow it, but a guy by the name of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Okay, I probably slaughtered his name, but Zlatan, his personality and persona, it's almost like he thinks he's a god. Like if you've seen some of the quotes from Zlatan, it's insane what he said about himself.
Really?
Yeah, and you get the sense like if there was going to be a guy that had a cult that would like worshipped him, this would be the guy.
I'll give you a guy.
Yeah.
That really in sports sticks out now.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Okay. Yeah.
DeChambeau plays a different game than everybody plays.
Yeah.
He rebuilt his body in 11 months.
Yes.
And he became like the #1 player in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we've seen anything like DeChambeau in sports, quite frankly. So to your point of like that Rodman kind of own wavelength and just nobody thinks like him, DeChambeau might fit better than anybody in this example. We want to get Steven. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I got a couple of Zlatan quotes here real quick. Want to hear some? When asked what he got his wife for her birthday, he responded, nothing. She already has Zlatan.
Sounds like a movie.
I can't help but laugh how perfect I am was another one. When asked about playing against an up-and-coming talent, he said, you can have talent, but talent doesn't always take you all the way. Not like Zlatan. He refers to himself in the third person all the time.
Are you sure those aren't quotes that he stole from me? All three sound very familiar. Hey, let's bring in Steven right now. Action Sports Shaq's on ESPN 690 before we hit the break. What's up, man?
Hey, not too much. How about you guys? You doing good?
Yeah, doing great.
Doing good, man.
All right. You guys were talking tight ends earlier. I I heard about Eifert not getting there. I know O'Shaughnessy's going. Oliver basically is made out of glass. We haven't seen him since we drafted him. Now, you guys say you just want Kyle Pitts, and trust me, I agree wholeheartedly. But mock drafts have him going now top 10, and I doubt we'd have to give up too much just to go from picking at 1 to trying to go from 25 to in the top 10. But with the new tight end coach coming out of Penn State, do you think we have a good shot at Pat Freiermuth, who's the second highest rated tight end? And also, I forget when we start Shock Your Mock, because I am still doing my best at putting together one Austin can't make fun of.
All right.
Well, I mean, first of all, good luck with that. I'm making fun of everyone. Brent, you can take it from here.
Well, we will do Shock Your Mock coming up shortly. Not like today, but it's on the way.
Should we start requesting him pretty soon here?
I think it's coming up.
We're going to put the bat signal out.
What are we getting to? We're getting to March, so we got about 2 months from the draft.
2 months from the draft.
So I think we're still going to hold a little bit here.
No.
I don't want to tire out the segment.
No, come on, man. If we do one a day, you're going to tire it out.
I know.
People want to get shocked.
They do.
Did you see my tweet this morning, by the way?
I might be working on a T-shirt.
Did you see? I like that. Did you see my tweet this morning?
No.
So somebody, I'm not going to name the person, but somebody posted a really inspirational quote saying that, hey, you, just want to let you know that you're perfect. Have a great day. So I took that and I put, hey, you, just want to let you know that your mock draft is perfect and everybody else's is trash. So I'm starting to build the confidence up. And there might be a heel turn coming up a little bit. Just saying. Well, I mean, it's Shock Your Mock. Eventually, I got to turn on these people.
It's not I love every mock.
Yeah.
I forgot what Steven's question
was. The guy
was.
from Penn State.
Freiermuth. I saw him mocked to the Jags at like 44.
Yeah.
I think people would take that. Listen, he's a
Coming
name
off
you
an
know
injury.
from the tight end room. We will say this. This is why the Jags have to get some veterans in. This is why Ertz does make some sense. This is why you really keep your fingers crossed on Oliver, that he at least shows something, because we know rookie tight ends they just don't impact you much.
Yes.
Now, it could be a good long-term selection, but they don't impact much. I'm not saying it's impossible, just doesn't happen much. It's not something to put in your basket of 2021.
Yeah.
Young tight end, second-round pick from Penn State, 8 touchdowns and 78 receptions. Just doesn't happen.
Real quick, would you rather have Freiermuth or that Jordan from Miami? He seems to be a little more of the game breaker type, a little quicker. I mean, they ran 40s, but he seems to be a little more quicker. Freiermuth seems like the more traditional tight end, let's say. Jordan seems like the more of the game breaker. Which one do you want?
Probably Jordan, really.
Yeah.
But I would go for either. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. In Jags roster news, the team has declined to pick up tight end Tyler Eifert's contract option, which will make him a free agent in the spring. In video game news, when EA releases its college football game, it may have to be without Notre Dame. They've opted out until the game has ironed out some of the compensation issues and the rules that go along with that compensation. And finally, Seattle Mariners president and CEO Kevin Mather resigned Monday after comments he made at a Rotary Club earlier this month. Here's Jeff Passan, ESPN MLB insider.
It was the stuff about the English language that really stood out from Kevin Mather's speech, and what John Stanton, the owner of the Seattle Mariners, said just did not go along with the organization's tenets. That's why he ended up resigning, and the hope is that this is an incident that can serve as a learning lesson for people around baseball, that this type of behavior simply won't be tolerated.
SportsCenter Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000. 515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. So what are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 RAV4 LE or a new 2021 Tacoma SR. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $299 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
From restaurants to retail to entertainment and more, over 150 businesses across Jacksonville have become connectable, providing employment opportunities for people with autism, Down syndrome, and other intellectual differences. Celebrate their inclusiveness and support these businesses at the citywide Shopability celebration on Saturday, March 6th. Visit connectablejax.com to see the Shopability map, then shop away on Shopability Saturday. Learn more at connectablejax.com.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
If you love golf or know somebody who does, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus cart fees with a Dream 18 golf cart at great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club, and Eagle Landing Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf cart. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 cart for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtogetscreened.com.
AD needed championships. Chips, plural, to start entering the greatest power forward ever conversation. How many does he need to win with the Lakers before he starts entering that conversation?
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN+.
All right, big story today. Tiger Woods involved in a car crash out in California. I believe the reports will start coming in even more so. We don't have a ton of information. The crash looks awful in California. By now, I think you've seen pictures or video. If you haven't, you can check it out. And what we know from Tiger Woods' agent is that he has multiple leg injuries. The word, I think, from some reports, non-life-threatening, according to police on the scene in California. Although the agent didn't say that, but that is good. surgery. Now, this was 3 hours ago. The statement came out that he was in surgery. We don't have anything more on that. I don't know how long surgery will be. But that's it. We know it's a big story. It's a dominating story right now everywhere, really probably all across the globe. But Tiger Woods is that kind of figure in our sports world and in our world, really. He transcends sports, no doubt about it. So, and again, the pictures from that crash look horrific. I really can sit here today and at this time and say, lucky to be alive. Like, it's those kind of pictures. Like, you could easily see the alternative when you see the visual of that car there in California. Coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll be back on TV, CBS 47, Fox 30. We have team coverage from TPC Sawgrass to the studio and to California, of course, as well. And there's supposed to be a news conference coming up at 6 o'clock with the latest on Tiger Woods. So CBS 47, Fox 30, make sure if you're heading home, flip it on for the latest on Tiger Woods. Hopefully that news conference will shed some light on what was going on today, early this morning, 7 o'clock or so, local time in California, when Tiger Woods' car went off the road and crashed, sent him to the hospital with multiple leg injuries and surgery immediately. So once we get more details, there's obviously a story we'll continue to talk about over the next couple of days. Today's supposed to be franchise tag day in the NFL. Yeah. It is. It starts. It doesn't mean, by the way, you have to like March 9th. Quick 30 seconds. Players hate the franchise tag.
Of course.
It limits their earning power,
yes.
right? Their guaranteed money.
Yep.
Do you get the sense that players are starting to come around a bit on it, though? Because guys like Kirk Cousins have done okay with it. Dak Prescott might get $37 million this year.
Yeah.
He got $31 million last year. Is it as bad as it's being portrayed from a player's standpoint if you get tagged?
Listen, obviously players, they dislike it because it hurts the longevity. And longevity means more money up front, and it means more money as long as you can stay in the league. But now the way the salary cap has been structured and the way franchise tags go up every single year, and why they go up because, well, they're an average of some of the top highest paid contracts in the NFL year in, year out. And as contracts go up, so does the franchise tag. So we're to the point now, Brent, we're almost to the point, I believe. Like, not everyone's going to agree with me here, but we're almost to the point now where if you get franchise tagged, I mean, it's a great lump sum of money that, you can live off of the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But players still value, I think, that longevity as well.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it tomorrow. And I want to talk a little bit about how it pertains to a guy that we used to know and talk about a lot on this show.
Okay.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah.
Because they could tag him in Baltimore, too.
Yeah.
And if teams tag this year, they could pull away from the pool of candidates available in free agency for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
True.
Hope you have a good rest of your night. A lot of high school activity. Check it out. CBS 47, Fox 30 tonight. Live, local, loud coming up next. And we'll keep you updated on the latest with Tiger Woods right here on ESPN 690 as well. Back at it tomorrow at 3.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks Arrest Training Helpline. Today we're explaining the term